down, and we here. But we here tonight. We here for the all the smoke and all the drama and all the good things. But less drama, more, more live knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the Killer Priest Podcast. My name is I am your host, Killer Priest. I am Sheik Lord's son. There was another name that I didn't Brother Glow, Lord's son, Leo Angel. Let me see. There's a couple more. We'll cross that portal when we get there. and running the rocket is none other than ADA Jizzle.
What's good? Welcome back. It's gonna be a wild show. You already know. Let's go.
Shout out to the craft room. I like to say the craft room. We will be having tea today. Shout out to shout out to, pardon me, everything's just coming in one bit. Hey yo, take this. Answer it for me. No. Yo, so shout out to the craft room once again. And no. It's okay. Shout out to the craft room. Shout out to Vinny Black Lodge. We call them the architects here, and we call the females the oracles. You know what I'm saying? Coach Kandaka up in the building. Vinny Black Lodge, one of the best producers. Voltage. You know what I'm saying? We are locked in. It's going to be a great show today. Just like AD says. Shout out to Danny Devine. He says KP, Rockets up to AD. And pause, tape, tea time, 3 times is back. Exactly. We are back. Going through transitions and all of that stuff. I mean, we get thrown off a little bit, but it's all about growing and building relationships and making things better than they was before. You know what I'm saying? Like necessarily I want to say it like the cocoon effect. The worm, the caterpillar goes into the cocoon. You want to do that? I'm excited. We got brother Selah Shalom coming. We're gonna get into the Oahspe today, man. It's gonna be crazy once we get this started, man. We got the video that we're gonna do. We got the video that we're gonna premiere today. Shout out to my man. He's gonna be here and gonna let him introduce it. You know what I'm saying? Have a happy time. And we building. We just building. Hey, can I get that real quick just to text him? We do things raw right here. Just to let him know because it was on.
Oh shit.
It's crazy. It was all good. Shout out to Knowledge Born. Yeah, hold on. Huh?
Raw to the floor like reservoir.
Yeah, it's
dogs.
raw here. Could you text him? Because he text it right there, or just go down and grab him or whatever.
Oh, you down there?
Yeah, he wants to knows how to or you can just call him if you want. And out there. See, it's raw right here. We just do everything real. Everything's in your face. So we're gonna premiere the Brother's Letter video today. And that should be fun. Oh, no bombs. Oh, we out of retrograde.
Yeah, it's all our fault now.
Yeah, it's all on us. And then we move it into Leo's sun star. What is it?
The moon and Leo tonight.
Moon and Leo tonight
after 9:30.
After 9:30.
Yeah.
Who on whose side though? 9:30 here.
Oh, 9:30 here.
9:30 here.
Yeah, according to my app.
Oh, so that's here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I have to tell you because.
Yeah. Just give me text it in. Yeah. Let the AD text it in. All right. Yeah, so it's been a lot of things been going on, man. The word around. We all saw the crazy. I see y'all laughing, Jimmy B. The word has been going around about this Kanye West and Nori. I got a chance to text Nori people and say, man, it was a great job, but there's a lot of things that's going on out there, so I'm not going to speak too much on it. But this is place where we do it at. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he come over here, start talking that talk. Um, um, yeah, Mr. Universe is out 11:01, 22. We've been working, and we still in the midst of mother. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful, my beautiful moms. You know what I'm saying? Transited with the ancestors, and what a great journey. She had me on. Yeah, everything is coming in, and I need some. It's getting hot here too, some reason. Hey, brother. Shout out to Church of Satan. What? Albany.
Are you serious?
They coming through today, huh? They ready. Ephraim won the truth. He says constant elevation. Yep, that's
Albania, huh?
Mm-hmm. Albania. Jenny B. He said, yeah, Kanye went nuts. No, it's crazy. It's a shifting. You know what I'm saying? I think it's a shift in consciousness, and we've been noticed was coming, and it's happening. Shout out to Hakeem, Bill with the God earlier, and just a plethora of knowledge, man. Great bills. Just when you build with brothers, you just feel like the energy echoing through it, and it's just like, oh man, I'm just blessed to be in the presence of so many masters, mental masters, such as my man Selah Shalom, that's going to come on and take us further into the cosmo. You know what I'm saying? And I love stuff like that. And I know y'all should. So you get your pen out. It's going to be good. I want to send a couple of shout outs. Make sure y'all hit that super chat today. Super chat. And we're going to put my Cash App up there one day too. We'll get that together. And my Patreon. Yeah, exactly.
Patreon's up there.
Yeah, the Patreon's up there. So I'm going to be a little bit more active. I've been going through a lot. Yeah. Let me look into the camera. I've been going through a lot, but you go through a lot, you become an astronaut. And what don't kill us makes us stronger. Did I say that right? Or was that too harsh? Oh, what don't knock us down? Oh, yeah, what don't kill us make us stronger? Something like that. Brixton in the building. Shout out to London up in the building. Shout out Brixton. Hard. Go to London or to Brixton. Oh, they treat you right out there. Good people, but you better be on point. Brixton is hard. I don't care what nobody say. London streets is real. I was out there, and I got some peoples out there. Word. Shout out to Brixton and the whole London, UK. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Babu. Okay, getting this together. Yeah, so shout out to Overkill. We got Rockets up there. Rocket, don't rock it. With a rocket, don't stop. We need to put that in there. Artists, every day, all day. Yeah, indeed. Yeah, it's off the hook.
You got to do the dance right here, though.
Hey, we can't do it too long because we don't want to get too much trouble. Shout out to V Vanette. I can't do it right now. We in the middle of the craft. Shout out to her though.
Mm-hmm.
We'll have to turn this down. It's like, is retrograde really over or is it just starting?
I mean, it's over. Now we just,
Yeah.
We just all over the
phone.
place.
Yeah. Hold up.
We raw to the floor.
Yeah,
like Reservoir Dogs.
Exactly. All right, I'm gonna put my phone down because I can't do it. It's just too much stuff going on.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get an assistant.
Yeah, definitely.
And a secretary or something.
Word. Miyoshi just walked up in the building. What up?
Hey.
Yeah, late as usual. And hey, we all doing it. We all doing it up. Go through a lot. Come out as an astronaut, no doubt. Let me see who else is up in the building. We can give a shout out to Chandler, Bridge, great been in there. Got the dancing up there. Yeah, man. All right. So if you don't know about the Oahspe, I mean, I'm gonna let the brother introduce it and take us further into this cosmic realm. You know what I'm saying? It's I'll let him explain it to you. But there's been books, there's the book of Enoch, there's the Urantia, the Urantia. There's Book of the Dead, Book of Life. There's been many books out there. Book of Angels. And a lot of people get their hands on them. They split around, and so don't be getting scared. I'm just letting y'all know this is for grown folks only for grown folks. This class tonight we're going to label it for grown folks. Don't really do that, but this is for the high mind, the minds that can take it to the next level, and it's going to be shaky. It's going to be controversial, but let's see how that be. But this brother's been doing it for a very long time, and he's like master teacher at this. And ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, 182. Look, so I give you Selah Shalom.
Peace to the God, peace to the righteous gods and goddesses. What's
Peace.
good, family?
Oh man, we good, brother. We good. How are you?
Hey man, I can't complain. I'm just here to be happy to be on your podcast. Shout out to Sarnetta for making this happen. You know what I mean? And I'm a big fan of you, King. Like I told you when I first got the call and I realized that was you, I was blushing like I was cheesing from ear to ear, like, yo, this Killer Priest calling me. I grew up on your music since the 90s. So a lot of people who don't know about you from the 90s on now, boy, they don't know what they missing. You know what I mean?
Man, thank you for that, man, so much, King.
Yeah, you a legend, King.
Thank you so much, man. For real. I'm just glad to still be in the building, you know.
Facts.
Still building, man. So
Yeah,
what's up? What you said?
No, I said I see, man. Like a lot of I see. That's what, like my journey of knowledge came from the hip hop. Like in my early teenage years, I got my hands on 120 through listening to y'all cats.
Hey, okay.
You see what I'm saying? I heard y'all talking about your peace, God. What's today's mathematics? I'm 15, 16, 17 hearing this. So we like, yo, we in Atlanta too. We like, yo, what they talk about peace, God? So I met a brother who gave me the lessons in 97. And that's how I was able to dissect what y'all was talking about in hip hop music. That's what made my generation more knowledgeable to history, spirituality, because what y'all was saying in y'all music, King.
No doubt, man. I think it's coming to its fullness and awareness, man. It's just these are the times right now when cats are waking up. Nobody wants to be asleep no more. You know what I mean?
Right.
Nobody wants to be asleep. If you sleep, you dead. You know what I'm saying? You like one of those Walking Dead cats out there. You know what I mean? For real.
Facts.
So what's right here? Pardon me. So what brings that? We here now.
Right. Yeah. We here. 2022.
I'll say one word. Oahspe.
Yeah. Controversial.
Controversial. Tell us about it, bro. What's good about the Oahspe?
All right, so I came across the Oahspe early 2000. I was at a park with a brother of mine and a Jamaican cat, a Rasta man. He had the book and he introduced me to it. That's how I got introduced to the Oahspe. Long story short, from a Rasta, a Jamaican. You feel me? I'm Trinidadian, so we resonated right off the bat. We Caribbean people, so we deal with intellectualism on a whole nother level. We passed the carnal racial things. Caribbean people don't really get stuck on the carnal racial things. We deal with more character and content of a person's behavior. So when he gave me the book, I was like, I'm looking through the. Matter of fact, he brought out a passage in the book that caught my attention because we was building. You know what I mean? We was burning a little thing, So he made a statement. He was like, yo, it wasn't God that told Abraham to sacrifice Isaac. It was an evil spirit or whatever. He said something along those lines, and he cracked open the book and showed me the passage. So the first thing that came to my mind, I was like, damn, what other book talk about Abraham? That's what I told myself. So, I'm looking at the titles of the titles of the chapters, and I'm seeing son of Jehovah, son of Jehovah, son of Jehovah, daughter of Jehovah. I'm like, damn, what's this about? Then it said the book of wars against Jehovah. I was like, damn, what's that about? So I'm a curious mind. I'm a person who acquired knowledge. I'm not biased to information. So when I seen those titles, I was like, I got to investigate this to see what's going on. Further investigated it, read it. And I was like, yo, this information is profound. I'm like, when I went to YouTube, nobody had no information on it, no knowledge, no nothing on it. So I was like, then you go to YouTube to find everything. So when I went on there, see nobody had it, then I started putting up lessons on there. And the first lesson I did was 2009. That's the first lesson I put on YouTube about the Oahspe in 2009. And like I said, a lot of people wasn't even in the truth 2009. A lot of niggas was still in the world, or how they say, in the Israelite, they was in the world. A lot of niggas was in the world back then. And this is the Oahspe I'm talking about. I was dealing with the Hebrew Israelite now at 10, 11 years before even that. Because I came out the 90s with the Israelite knowledge. And then within the night, I started with the Kemet. I started with Kemet. Then I went from Kemet to the Quran. I studied the Quran. Then I went to the Quran to the 120 lessons. Went from the 120 lessons to the Hebrew doctrine. That's the steps of my journey.
Wow.
And then, of course, in between other esoteric books, you know what I mean? And then I got into the Oahspe like early 2000. And then I'm here with it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I know you was getting a lot of flack from the Hebrews, man. I know Israelites, brothers and sisters, I know they had to give you a lot of flack for going out and
it was worse. It was worse then than it is now. Today, now this is lightweight. But when I first brought out, the attacks was crazy. That's why I'm able to just beat them up the way I beat them up now, because I done been attacked from so many angles. I know the point is that they're gonna come in, and I already got it prepared.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Okay. All right. Well, then take us. All right. So take us there, man. I know. I kind of like. I ran across the Oahspe a couple of times in my travels, and the arc cycles, and they talk about a lot of stuff, but you kind of mastered it. So why don't you take us? Let's start at the beginning. Take us there, man, with your presentation. I mean, I'm ready.
All right. So we titled this the arc cycles because when I see you on Sonetta, I heard you mention the arc cycle, so I figured let's touch on the arc cycles. So I'm gonna specifically kind of deal with the arc cycles. You know, I mean, it's going to be other stuff mentioned, but I'm not going to go detailed in. But I just want to be specific on the arc cycles and the timeline and how it works out.
Right.
And the question you asked me, what does the Oahspe mean?
Yes.
Now, to put it in a nutshell, it means earth, sky, and spirit. It's an acronym. The O represents sky, the AH represents earth, and the SPE represents spirit. So it's a combination of earth, sky, and spirit.
Okay.
All right, so I can share my screen?
Yes, you could.
All right, cool.
Let's get ready. Hold on to your chairs, y'all.
Yes, sir. All right, here we go.
Your chairs.
All right,
we got to get.
And if you got any questions, if you want to interrupt, just do it, because this is what I do. This is nothing new. So if you got a question or if you want to interrupt, take a break, whatever, just let me know.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna get a phone in here soon. Go ahead.
All right. I'll take a sip of some of that detox. All right, here we go. Let me
Oh yeah, you into that too? We'll talk about that.
Yeah. I got you, King. I already got you on that. All right, so here we go. It's for my screen. All right, so basically, we're going to go into the arc cycles in the Oahspe. Now, I'm getting straight to the point. I like to go straight to the jugular and get to the point. So, an arc cycle, long story short, is a period of 3,000 years that the solar system travels through. That's what the arc cycle is. Now, I'm just going to give you some chapters and verses, and we're going to get into it. Now, this is in the Book of Cosmogony and Prophecy. This is the Book of Synopsis of 16 Cycles, chapter 1. I didn't put the actual verse of it, but I'll show it in the next one. So, all right. So it states here: first, the Earth travels in a circuit around the sun, which is divided into 4 arcs called spring, summer, autumn, and winter. So we're familiar with that. Second, the sun with his family travels in a large circuit. Now, when it says the sun and his family, it's referring to the solar system. So it's basically saying, second, the solar system travels in a large circuit, which is divided into 1,500 arcs, and the distance for each arc being about 3,000 years or one cycle. So now it's talking about the Earth has an orbit that it goes around like the sun, but here's they're talking about a 3,000-year cycles within this orbit. Now, this is just a breakdown of a 3,000-year cycle, and within the 3,000-year cycle, they're called half times and 7.5 times. A time is a period of 400 years, So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 7 times, and a half of a time is 200 years. And this will give you your arc cycle of 3,000 years. And it is during a period of 3,000 years that these gods have successions. But I'm not going to get into the gods yet. I just want to talk about the arc cycles. So now, in the book of Jehovah, chapter 7, verse 9, it states, "But at no other time, nor in any other way, shall my harvest ascend to my emancipated worlds in Etheria. For each and every Danai, a Danai is a period of 3,000 years, have I created 7 Dans, and to each Dan 6 generations of mortals." So these 7 Dans that I was talking about are these 7 periods of 400 years right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those are the 7 times and a half makes 1 Danai. A Danai is a period of 3,000 years. So when it says Danai right here, it's talking about a period of 3,000 years. And let's further get some information on that. That's the same chart. I'm going to just use another precept on top of that to show about these times and half times. So now this is in the book of Asar, son of Jehovah, chapter 6, verse 20. Put that marker in there. And 21, it states, "Times and half times have I given to my corporeal worlds and their heavens. In a time I have made a full resurrection to those who aspire to my heavens above. Nor do I go away from any place I created, saying, go alone for a season. But in a time I manifest new light, for such also are my creations. Do not think that I have given seasons to my corporeal worlds. I have given seasons to my atmospherian worlds." Verse 21. "And is a summer on earth not half a time, and winter a half a time, and the two one full time? So also created for the atmospheria a time of what? 400 years. And a half time of what? 200 years. So it says, 7 times and 1/2 created I 1 Danai. And coming back to what I was saying up here, these are your 7 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Your 7 times and your half times, which gives you the 3,000 year period. So the Oahspe is showing you that the earth travels through these 3,000 year periods. Now, go ahead. What you about to say, Ken?
No. I was gonna. I know about the every 26,000 years.
Oh yeah. We going. Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought that up, because the 3,000 year cycles lead up to those 24,000 year cycles as well.
Right.
It's like a chain reaction of cycles and subcycles.
Right.
These time periods. So now I described that the Earth is in an orbit. I mean, the sun is in an orbit. So here's here's a reference to that. So we ain't just making this stuff up. So it states here, this is called a galactic year. The galactic year, also known as a cosmic year, is the duration of time required for what? The sun to orbit or once around the Milky Way galaxy. See that? So right here, a galactic year is in reference to when it states up here. When it states here, the sun with his planets travel in a large circuit, which is divided into 1,500 arcs, and the distance for each arc being about 3,000 years. So right here is telling you that the sun is telling you that the sun with his family travels in a large circuit. Hold on, let me bring that right here. Hold on.
The sun with his family.
Right, exactly. The sun with his family travels in a large circuit. Now, this large circuit is referring to the galactic year right here. The galactic year, also known as the cosmic year, is the duration of time required for the sun to orbit once around the center of the Milky Way galaxy. So the Oahspe is talking about this back in 1881. Talking about the sun orbiting another galaxy. That wasn't discovered until maybe the 1900s. So now, let's move forward. Now, here's another reference. To show that. Now, go ahead, Ken.
No, you said it was 1881
when the Oahspe was revealed. Yes.
Okay. Not just the orbits. This information. Oh, when the Oahspe was revealed, and not just
when the book came out in 1881, it was talking about the sun having an orbit back then.
Gotcha.
Right. So all right. So now, Book of Jehovah, chapter 7, verse 2. It's a precept to that verse. It states, Jehovah caused the earth and her family, meaning the sun, to travel in an orbit, the circuit of which required of them 4,700,000 years. And he placed in the line of orbit at distances of 3,000 years etherian lights, at which place, as the earth passes through, angels from the second heaven come into its corporeal presence. As ambassadors they come, in companies of hundreds and thousands and tens of thousands, and these are called the etherian hosts of the Most High. So here again, this is just another precept verse to show you that the earth and its family travels in an orbit. And then it says the requirement for one orbit is roughly 4,700,000 years. So the same way, roughly speaking, it takes 365 days for the earth to travel around the sun, it takes the sun 4,700,000 years to complete one orbit. So now here's just a quick, I like to use illustrations to convey the message. So this is just an illustration of the sun's orbit in the Milky Way galaxy, and just showing you the spokes, those 3,000 year periods as it travels through those seasons or through those arc cycles. Now, every planet goes through 4 ages: the time of creation, the time of inhabitation, the time of barrenness, and the time of dissipation. These 4 ages is equivalent to the 4 seasons: the time of spring, the time of fall, the time of summer, the time of fall, and the time of barrenness. So each season coincide with the cosmic cycles. So, for example, the time of creation will be like springtime. What happens in spring? New things occur, new things blossom. It's a rebirth, it's a new growth. What happens in the summer age would be the time of inhabitation for the planet. Which does that mean? Meaning the time where animal and humans are suitable to live on the planet, because the planet is just right to sustain animal life. But then there's going to come a time where the planet will go into planetary barrenness, where nothing can generate and grow on the planet, no different than you see the Sahara Desert and the Grand Canyon. Those are signs of planetary barrenness on the planet. It'll come a time when the whole planet will become a barren land. And then you have the last age, which is the age of dissipation, where the planet is dissipated back into a cosmic dust, only to start from the first age again, the time of creation. We're going to go into that. And these time periods are 144,000 years apiece. And these 4 times make up, right? It's 144,000 for each age. And when you
now I know they said that's the chosen number, right?
Yeah. See, this is where it gets a little. You get familiar with certain numbers, because this is really dealing on the cosmological scale. Some of these false gods took these cosmological concepts and made it into something else. So the 144,000, yes, that's a number we're definitely familiar with. But 144 times 4 gives you 576,000 years, which is one garden. And you times that by 8, that'll give you that 4,706. It'll give you 601 year, close to roughly coming to that orbit we was talking about earlier that I just showed. Right. Now, so during a cycle of 3,000 years, this is what takes place. Now, this is in the Oahspe Bible Synopsis of 16 Cycles, chapter 1, verse 3 through 7. It states, during a cycle, the earth and her heavens travel through the etherian regions of hundreds of etherian worlds, where are inhabited by Jehovah's high-raised angels, whose chiefs are involved in what? The management of worlds. So that's what these high-raised angels are about, managing worlds. During the time of a cycle, the earth is therefore under the control and management of such Jehovah's of such angels of Jehovah for what? The resurrection of man on earth. So these angels, they're here to help us resurrect. They ain't out here to kill us and destroy us. The righteous angels is here for our resurrection, just like in school. The purpose of your school teacher is for you to rise in the grade so you could go on to the next. That's what the purpose of these angels are, for coming at the beginning of these 3,000 year periods. Now, it states here, at the time of the creation, now we get into the time periods. At the time of the creation of man, the earth was traveling in the arc of one, where thousands of Orion chiefs lived, with billions of high-raised angels. Now, I said the arc cycle is a period of 3,000 years. Now here, this is the time period from the creation of man to where we're at now, present time. And these are the periods of, so all those lines you see from number 1 to 25, those are periods of 3,000 years. And what I did, I just took the highlights from the Oahspe of like, you see the creation of man, then the next highlight, it say the first era of civilization, then the next highlight, it say the time of the flood, of the sinking of pond, and then it says present time. So I just thought, and this
coincides.
Go ahead, Ken.
No, I said this coincides with the creation story, and to the flood, to the end of the first worlds, or what?
Yeah, so like, for example, if you was to ask somebody who read the Bible, what is the time period from let's say, Adam or the creation of man to the flood, there is no way to calculate time for that. But in the Oahspe, it gives you these 3,000-year periods, so you'll be able to gauge the time period from when the creation of man took place to the time of the flood, and from the flood to where we're at presently.
Okay.
I'm going to get into that too. I'm going to show you them time periods. So right here, as we scroll down, it states here, the Holy Council of Orion chiefs, through the wisdom and voice of Jehovah, appointed one of their own, Sethantes, an archangel, to take charge of the earth and to people it with the mortal beings during its travel in the Ark of Wayne. Up here, they go the Ark of Wayne. So when the earth entered this ark cycle, that's when this decree came out by the Holy Council of Orion chiefs. And then it states here, the rank and title of Sethantes, thus raised by Jehovah, creator of worlds, became first God of the earth and her heavens. So in the Oahspe, it gives you a starting point. It just nigga just pop out of nowhere and just things happen. No, we have a starting point for the succession of the reign of gods. So the first God ruled in the first ark cycle, and then after he ruled, a succession will take place with the gods, no different than a presidency. You know, you have one president rule in office for 400 years, then after that, another president come and rule for the next 4 years. And the succession of the gods is the same way. So every 3,000 years, there are a new succession of Etherian angels or archangels that come down. And what is their purpose? To help what? Resurrect man. And what their duty is? To control and manage worlds. See that? So now, let's come here. This is a precept to coming back to the first God, showing you structure and order to the heavenly kingdom. And Jehovah caused the angels of Atmospheria to assemble together and organize the first kingdom of heaven on earth. And the place was called Horeb, because it was the place of the first organic abiding place for the first God of this world. So they're letting you know that it was a time when there was a first God. You have, just like George Washington, he was the first president. Just like Narmer, he was the first ruler of ancient Kemet. Everything has a beginning point. And the Oahspe, it shows you the beginning of the succession and the start of the gods in the heavenly kingdoms. And then it states that, and Horeb was situated over and above the mountains of Aoatin in Ugakwa, eastward of Ul, of that country afterward called the continent of Pan. Now, this continent called the continent of Pan was a continent that was located in the Pacific Ocean. And it was this continent that was sunk beneath the water that produced what we formerly known as the deluge. And we'll get into that in a minute. And then it states here, thus ended the inorganic habitation of the earth and her heavens, meaning to say that at this starting point here started the first inauguration, the first procession of the gods, while mortals was just created. So we still walking around like a baby being born on the earth. He coming goo goo gaga, crawling on his belly, not knowing too much. That's how man came into the world before he became civilized. It was a growth for man. Man ain't coming to the world just all knowing. So now here's an example dealing with the math now. So these are 3,000-year periods. So the first ark cycle to the 17th ark cycle, the 17th ark cycle is called the Ark of Noah. And this is the time period that the deluge took place, where it states down here, time of the flood or the sinking of Pan. That took place in the 17th ark cycle. So from the first ark cycle to the 16th ark cycle of 3,000 years is going to give you a total of 48,000 years. So that's basically saying from the time of Adam to the flood of Noah is 48,000 years. And from the flood of Noah to our present time is 8 ark cycles of 3,000 years, giving us 24,000 years. 24,000 years added up, 48,000 is going to give us 72,000 years. That's half the inhabitable age of man on the planet. So now, moving forward. All right, so coming to the inhabitable age, because that's where the archaeologically, the history, and all that come into play. So I just showed you just the cosmological periods of 3,000-year periods. As first I showed you the orbit of the solar system, and that the solar system goes through these 3,000-year periods called arc cycles, and now we're going into the inhabitable age of humans during these arc cycles of 3,000 years.
So the Bible don't.
I'm going. Yeah, go ahead, Ken.
So the Bible don't say none of this.
No. The Bible don't say this. All this is based off the timetables of prophecy in the Oahspe. So now we're talking about the inhabitable age of a planet. Now, we have 144,000 years equal the inhabitable age time on the planet. So that 144,000 years is broken down into 2 halves of 72,000 years. We are just completing the first half of the inhabitable age. From the creation of man to where we're at present time, we're in the 25th arc cycle. So that's 1 half. We completed this 1 half. Now, this is the second half we got to complete before morals become extinct to the planet. So the inhabitable age is equivalent to summertime. What comes after summertime? Fall. What happens in fall? Things start to what? Go berry. Fruit trees, you can't bear no fruits in fall. You try to plant a seed in fall, you ain't gonna get no seed. You got to wait till the season come back around before you can start the seeding process. So it's the same thing with humans. Humans are created, inhabited, and then they go extinct to the planet. And then when the planet comes back around for that time for them to be recreated, just like spring, the apple tree from last year is not the apple tree from this year. You see, or the apple of this year is not the apple of last year. It's new fruit being produced each season. So it's the same rules on a cosmological scale dealing with the inhabitable age of man on the planet. So now, right here, in the book of Sathantes of 16 Cycles, chapter 1, verse 5, it states again, it says, at the time of the creation of man, the earth was traveling in the ark of Wain. And again, this is another example of the earth traveling in the ark of Wain, and this is during the creation of man. These are when these high-raised angels came to help rise man up, because what? Man was running around naked. Man didn't have a language. At that, there was a point when humanity was it's like a baby coming into the world. A baby comes into the world blank, not knowing nothing. He has to be taught language. He has to learn how to walk. Oh, man was like that in his condition in the beginning. That's the progression of man, just like the progression of a child. It's the same thing. So now, how do we know the earth is in a new age called Cosmon? Now, in the Oahspe, it's a part in the Oahspe called the Oahspe, chapter 1, verse 23 and 24, it states, and in the 33rd year, which was 1881, the angels descended, the ambassador of the angels' host of heaven, in the name of Jehovah, revealed to man his heavenly kingdom through this Oahspe, making known the plan of his delightful creation for the resurrection of the people on earth. So that was the purpose of the Oahspe, to expound more on Jehovah's creation, the delightful creation for the resurrection of man. Because it's going to tell me, the biggest question is, well, what happened when we die? Nobody knows what we die, but the Oahspe has a full layout in the progression of life after death. And it makes sense, because if you're in high school and you're supposed to go to college after, and then you have nobody to let you know, well, after high school is college. It doesn't stop at high school. You progress after high school. So Earth is a high school. When you cross over to these atmospheric and etheric regions, those are like the schools and colleges in the higher realms of spirituality after death. So now, the note here, the Oahspe was revealed in 1881, 33 years previous is 1884, the beginning of the Cosmon era. So the beginning of the Cosmon era is what we show right here on the chart right here. See that? The Cosmon era right here, present time. But now we're going to put dates so you could see that we just ain't throwing numbers out there. It's synchronized with history. Now, here go the dates. Here go the same chart. Here go the above. The numbers of the arc cycle above. You see 1, 2, 3, 4. All these are 3,000-year cycles. And below, now we have the dates. So like I said, the arc of Cosmon started in the 25th arc cycle, and it was 1848. So now from 1848, we can count backwards in history and get the timeline. Now, if you notice, the creation of man, we have is 71,553 BC. Now, we know man is older than that, but this particular garden, in this particular season, this is where the age of man. So, to BC, you got to add 2,000 years from the BC, because that's before Common Era. So this is really 72, 73, 74,000 years ago. And then when we come to the first era of civilization, it says 43,553 BC. That's really 45,000 years ago. When we come to the time of flood, it says 2253 BC. That's really 25,000 years ago. And then when you come down to history, look at 3950, this 4th millennium BC right here. This is the time of ancient Kemet coming on the scene. This is the Nakata period right here. And this is the 23rd arc cycle after the creation of man. And the 24th arc cycle begins 1553 BC. This is the beginning of the Middle Kingdom. But look at the previous history going back before Egypt. You see what I'm saying? Look at the first century. This is the first century right here. This Jesus. This Yeshua. But look at the scale of history coming prior. And all this is within a time period of 72,000 years. This is the first half of the inhabitable age. So we're giving you a time period and time dates with this timeline of arc cycles of 3,000 years. So we're not just spewing out a timeline without rendering dates and time periods. So now, the first era of civilization, 45,553 BC. This is what the Oahspe has to say about when the earth entered this arc cycle. Because keep in mind, the earth is traveling through arc cycles of 3,000-year periods. So when the earth entered this period, which is the 10th arc cycle after the creation of man, it states.
Not just shouting somebody out there.
Now you good, King. Right. This is the era. This is the first era of civilization, and Oahspe speaks on this right here. So in the book of Synopsis of 16 Cycles, chapter 1, verse 18 through 21, it states here, the 10th cycle was under Misilativa, chieftainess of the archers of Lagobak, in the ark of Nu, and her harvest was 10,800,000,000. So first, let me address, they're referring that this is the 10th arc cycle. The 10th arc cycle is referring to right here, the 10th arc cycle after the creation of man. So you're talking 30,000 years after the creation of man, just using the basic premise of 3,000 years. And it's under Mischila. This is a goddess who's under this arc cycle, a female. You know, in the Bible, they tell niggas the female got to be silent, but over here you got a female goddess running the scene in the ark of Noah. And then when it states that her harvest, right here, when it says her harvest was 10,800,000,000, what that means is that all the souls that graduated off the planet into the etherian realm, that's her number. Just like school. A school may have like, we had 20, we had 5,000 graduates this year. And another school may be like, okay, cool, we had 6,000 graduates this year. That's basically what they're saying about these harvests of 10,800,000,000 souls. These are graduated people who graduated during a 3,000-year period. Ooh. Now this is the 10th arc cycle. This is the same arc cycle, the 10th arc cycle after the creation of man, called the Ark of Nu. Right here, the Ark of Nu. Come down. It's the 10th arc cycle. I just put the names of the arcs on this particular map, but I still got the number of the arc cycle. Now I'm going to read in the Oahspe what was going on during the 10th arc cycle after the creation of man. It states here. It says, now the earth was full of people, and all the continents and islands of the earth were inhabited by man, nor were there any wilderness left where man did not dwell. But the generation of man had fallen from 33 years down to 12 years, and man and woman were at maturity at 7 years old, and not many lived above 30 years. But they were prolific, many of the mothers bringing forth 200 sons and daughters, and from 2 to 4 babies at birth. And man dwelt in peace. The earth was tilled, and it brought forth abundantly everything that was good for man to eat and to clothe himself with. In those days, there were great cities of hundreds of thousands of inhabitants, and thousands of cities in the 5 great divisions of the earth. And man built ships and sailed over the ocean in all directions around the whole world. By the angels of the Lord he was taught and guided in all things. And man had books, both written and printed, and in schools. And the young were taught knowledge regarding the sun, moon, and stars, and all things that are upon the earth and in the waters. This was therefore called the first period of civilization on the earth. So right here, the Oahspe is letting you know that there was a point that there was a first civilization, and it coincide with right here, the first era of civilization. This was 45,000 years ago. This is pre-Diluvian. And then notice the strange thing that caught my attention. It said that the people lived to be no older than 30 years old. I found that interesting. But then when I look at movies like, let's say, Lord of the Rings is supposed to be like a pre-Diluvian time. And you see these hobbits, these midgets, and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't look like, they would look like little children, but they were grown-ass men. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? So Oahspe is showing you a pre-Diluvian time period that the earth reached a first era of civilization. And this is the same civilization that your Graham Hancocks, your David Wilcox be talking about, the pre-Diluvian time. And the Oahspe just gives you a time of that in the book. And they call it the first era of civilization. And it took place during the 10th arc cycle after the creation of man. So now, and here goes some reference of, now, I like to show references. Sources. I'm not to just be talking and I ain't making no references. So coming back to the first era of civilization, look at the time period. It said 43,553 BC. Now BC is 2,000 years from our present time. So that's really 45,000 years ago. Now, when I look to see what was around 45,000 years ago, I got some references. It states here. This is cave art, but look what the time period. This 45,000-year-old pig painting is the world's oldest animal art. They describe this art as one of the oldest animal art on wall 45,000 years ago, exactly fitting the time period that the Oahspe says was the first era of civilization. So it was some stuff, somebody had to paint that 45,000 years ago, and here goes some more referring to that similar time period of 40,000 years ago. So here you have right here, let me read that right here. One of the oldest known figurative paintings, a depiction of an unknown bovine, was discovered in the Lubang Serja Selah cave and dated to be more than 40,000, perhaps 52,000 years ago. This painting right here that they're talking about is during the time of what they considered the first era of civilization in the Oahspe, because it fits the time period 40,000 years ago, 52,000 years, 45,000 years ago. What was the time of the first era of civilization according to the Oahspe? 45,000 years ago. So this dude automatically right, and his time period is on point. Here go another source. You know what cave art, because this is supposed to be the time period of the first era of civilization. So they're just showing you artwork during this time period, which would have been classified as the first era of civilization. And it says, an artistic depiction of a group of rhinoceros was completely in the cave of Chevet Cave 30 to 32,000 years ago. Again, still fitting the time period within the time of the first era of civilization, still within this parameter. Now, keep in mind, this is the first era of civilization. The deluge and the flood is over here. You see what I'm saying? So we're showing you that when they talk about the pre-Diluvian civilizations, this is what we're showing you: evidence of the of writings on the walls going back 45, 50, 30,000 years ago. And here's another one from that time period, long before ancient Kemet. It says what? 30,000 years old cave hyena painting found in Killa. This is in France. This is in France. And they labeled this 30,000 years ago. Long before Egypt, long before Israel, long before Sumer. And look at the Oahspe. It's telling you that these things took place, again, right here during the first era of civilization, 40,000 years ago. Now keep in mind, Kemet is right here. This is Kemet, 3953 BC. The time of the pyramids is 2nd century millennium BC. What I'm talking about is 40, 50,000 years older. Before. So the Oahspe is showing you information and rendering up information long before Kemet. And it's showing you petroglyphs, because petroglyphs is the oldest writing system before the hieroglyphics in the Paleo-Hebrew. So now, the flood. Let's get into the flood. The flood was 24,000 years ago. Let me come back to this chart real quick up here where I showed. Where I gave you an estimate of time of the flood, right? Oh, you know what? No. I'm in the wrong folder.
Keep going in. Come on with the questions soon. Yeah.
It was right here. This is it, right here. So, like I said, I just showed the first era of civilization. Just showed some references and time periods from that time period as far as artifacts and paintings on cave walls. Now we're moving into this part, the Ark of Noah, the time of the sinking of the continent of Pan. Now, this is 24,000 years ago from our present time. So the flood of Noah was 24,000 years ago. So we're dealing with some pretty decent scale numbers compared to 6,000, 2,000 years, and compared to like the biblical timeline. We dealing with a grander scale of time. All right, so now let me come back to where I was at, referencing the time of the first era of civilization. I showed references of artwork and paintings during that time. And then we're going to go into the flood. Now, the flood is right here. This is the time of the flood. Look what it says, 22,553 BC. You got to add 2,000 years on top of that. So 2, 3, 4. This is 24,000 years ago from the flood. And this is the 17th ark cycle. And the name of the 17th ark cycle was called the Ark of Noah. And we're going to prove that right here. In the book of Selah, son of Jehovah, chapter 1, verse 1, it states, in the time of the world, 24,000 years before the Cosmine era. Remember, I just showed that other chart when I said there was 24,000 years from our present time back to the flood? This is the confirmation. And then it says again, in the time of the world, 24,000 years before the Cosmon era, the great serpent. Now, when it says great serpent, it's talking about the solar system. The great serpent being in the ark of Noah in the Etherian firmament. So Noah, as you've been taught in your Bible as a person, is the name of an arc cycle in the Etherian firmament. It's a cosmological time period. Right here. See that? The ark of Noah. It's not a man. It's the name of a time. It's the cosmological time period of an arc cycle. And during the earth traveling in this arc cycle is when the deluge or the sinking of the continent of Pan took place. And we're going to get into that too. So now this is another chart just to show. Say it again, King?
The deluge is the flood, right? The flood period.
Correct. But it was the sinking of a continent in the Pacific Ocean that the Bible does not mention that produced the deluge. So I was like, okay. I was like,
say that again, King. Say that once again.
No,
you
good.
said what?
Like the Bible speaks of the flood.
Uh-huh.
In the Oahspe, it speaks about the continent called Pan that was in the Pacific Ocean. That continent was sunken underwater, and that's the sinking of the flood produced the deluge. I mean, the sinking of the continent produced the deluge. We're gonna get into that too. All right, so now this is the sinking continent of Pan and the ring of fire, because the ring of fire is the remnants of the result of this continent. So in the Oahspe, it actually renders up a drawing. This is North America, South America, Asia, and then it shows you the continent of Pan. It shows you Australia. But this was the continent that was located in the Pacific Ocean called the continent of Pan. And if you notice, when you look at America, although this is a drawing, but if you notice the area where the Grand Canyon was, it was a sea. It was a seabed there. It dried out. When you really look at the Grand Canyon, all that was underwater. That's where they found skeletons and remnants of whales in the canyon, because this was a sea at one time, pre-Diluvian time. So now I'm just showing you that the Oahspe showed you that there was a continent in the Pacific called Pan. Now, the ring of fire after the continent of Pan was sunk. Now, after this continent right here was sunken underwater, and I'm going to go into how the continent was sunk underwater, but the continent after being sunk, it created an instability called the ring of fire. And you can look this up in real time. This is unstable grounds right here. And the instability of this came from the sinking of the continent of Pan, which we're about to go into now. Now, in the synopsis of 16 cycles, chapter 3, verse 16 through 18, it states, and now the council deliberated, and after a while caused the records of the earth and her atmosphere to be examined. And they discovered that the heavens of the land of the Pan, they call it Waga too, but the land of Pan was beyond redemption, because the great number of the spirits of cannibals and the multitude of fetals, the condition of Pan and her heavens was as if a disease in the flesh healed over externally, leaving the root of the disease within. Accordingly, the redemption of the cycles did not remain with her, but evil broke out continually in a new way. So basically, niggas was wilding on the continent. Jehovah said, I will now prune the earth and her heavens. Behold, the division of Pan shall be hewn off and cast beneath the water of the ocean. Her heaven shall no longer be tenable by the spirits of destruction, for I will render its foundation and scatter the winds of heaven. So Jehovah's putting out a decree that the continent will be sunk underwater. So now, go therefore down to the earth and provide nets and benches for receiving the spirits of darkness, and for receiving the spirits of mortals who shall perish in the waters, and also provide a place in my exalted heavens suitable for them. And ye shall put walls around them in heaven, so they cannot escape, but what? Be weaned from evil. So he got a redemptive plan for these people, although he's sinking the continent and people is going to die. But look, he has a redemptive plan to wean them from evil. So he just ain't destroying these niggas, throwing them in a lake of fire to let them burn. Jehovah's like, yo, we're going to remove these people and we're going to redeem them as we remove them. Now, what caused the ring of fire? I told you that they sunk the continent. Now we're going to show you how it sunk. Now, in the book of Aph, son of Jehovah, chapter 6, verse 4 through 9, it states, and the end of the... And the end of now what I'm reading right here, I'm just getting straight to the nitty-gritty of how they sunk the continent. Now it states at the ending of the Etherian column. Now they're talking about Etherian ships. You know what I mean, like when the sinking of this continent took place, Etherian ships surrounded the continent, and this was the technology that they was using to sink it. Skilled angels dealing with advanced technology. So again, it states, and the end of the Etherian column that extended down to the earth was made secure around the borders of Pan by the sea and high mountains to the north. Now the key here is secure around the borders. So when when the angels came, they created a hedge around the borders because they're about to suppress and sink it. So they created a hedge around the borders. And this hedge is what the ring of fire is the remains of. So now, I'm going to read that again. And the end of the Etherian column.
Going there. Go ahead.
Now, King.
Going there. Yeah.
And keep in mind, I ain't going to lie. All this started from listening to the Woo and listening to certain brothers back in the 90s that's put that battery in my back to gain knowledge. So I'm showing you how important the music is, because this is the offshoot of the music of the 90s while we're doing this today. So now, at the end of the Etherian column that extended down to the earth was made secure around the borders of Pan by the sea and high mountains to the north. This is the sea and this is the high mountains to the north they're talking about, right up in here. And this is the bulk of the ring of fire. This is where they hedged around before, just like you at a garden, when you do gardening and you hedge the garden around, it's the same concept that they're talking about when they're talking about hedging. And this is another picture of the ring of fire, just showing you the hedging, where they hedged around before they could sink the continent. Now check this out. Book of Oahspe, son of Jehovah, chapter 3, verse 18. And I divided the lines into sections each with 250 ships. Now, when they talk about ships, they talking about what we call in the Bible chariots or UFOs. These are ships that has advanced technology weapons on them. Just like we got today in the military, we got ships that could, missiles that could go thousands of miles and laser guided missiles and all that. If we got that on a terrestrial level, you think the angels on a celestial level ain't got ships and technology on a higher level? So now it states again, and I divided the line into sections, each with 250 ships, and there were 1,000 sections. What does that mean? That's 250,000 chariots that's surrounding this continent. So you got 250,000 ships surrounding this, creating a hedge, a border around the continent. Because keep in mind, they're about to sink it.
Right.
So again, and there were 1,000 sections, and every ship was contracted 10,000-fold, which was the force required to break the crust of the earth and sink a continent. Look at that. They telling you the force required to sink a continent using 250 ships surrounding the continent and hedging it about. So again, let me read that. It stated what? And every ship was contracted 10,000-fold. What does that mean? They mean they applying pressure, which was the force required to what? Break the crust of the earth and sink a continent. This is the technology the gods is dealing with. And keep in mind, these gods are men. These is men, one-time men like me and you. So when the gods, the 5%ers say, man is the sole controller of the universe, them niggas wasn't lying. Oahspe is backing this shit. Because it's men doing these things. And the female goddesses are involved in this too, but we'll get to that another time. But I'm just showing you how the technology that they're being used.
Selah.
It's
not
crazy.
the Proverbs at the Psalms, it goes Selah.
Right.
Selah. Go ahead.
No doubt, beloved. So again, it's letting you know that they're using every ship was now. And when it says every ship, you're talking about 250,000 ships. They contracted 10,000-fold, which was the force required to break the crust of a continent. Now, Book of Oahspe, son of Jehovah, chapter 6, verse 5 through 9. Again, I said, O Jehovah, deliver the earth from evil. See that? They talking about delivering the earth from evil, not doing destruction. Deliver our people from evil for your glory forever. And check this out. And the vortex of the earth closed in from from the rim, and lo, the earth was broken. A mighty continent was cut loose from its fastening. And the fires of the earth came forth in flames and clouds with loud roaring, and the land rocked to and fro like a ship at sea. Now, the key thing here is that when they broke it, it said fires of the earth came forth. Now, what do we have here? What is this called? What is that called? The ring of fire?
Yeah.
So when they sunk this continent, when they compressed 10,000 fold and broke the continent, and the continent is swaying to and fro like a ship at sea, it says the fires of the earth came forth in the flames of clouds. So this remnant called the ring of fire is still the remnant of these angels that suppressed and broke this continent 25,000 years ago. And then it states, again I said, O Jehovah, deliver your heavens, which are bound like a chain to a rotten carcass. And again, the vortex of the earth closed in on all sides, and by the pressure, the land sunk beneath the water to rise no more. And the Comporians, meaning the people, went down to death. The fields, the familiars, gave up their battle. Neither did they have anywhere to stand, nor did they know how to go away to any place in heaven, but were lost, crying out for help. And my hosts hastened in all directions with their birth blankets and received the drudges. Drudges mean spirits of darkness. And received the fields. Fields mean angels or spirits that engraft themselves on mortals and can't live independently but on mortals. And then you have the Isaeans. Isaeans mean newborn spirits or newborn in heaven. And millions gathered and delivered them to the fountain of light, where I had provided atmosphere for them, and they were placed within. So great were the numbers, even the gods had scarcely seen anything like it before. And in order to attest before you, O Jehovah, I had them numbered using the sections and divisions of my gods and goddesses in order to do such. So that's just a quick description of just showing you how this continent that was once located in the Pacific Ocean was sunk underwater by these Etherian ships, using a concentration of 10,000 fold to break the crust of a continent and sink it. And this was the continent called Pan that was once located in the Pacific Ocean right here. And this took place 24,000 years ago. See that?
Wow. I know I heard that story, similar stories. I heard that story somewhere.
Yeah, because this is the flood. So you're going to have remnants of the story in different civilizations and cultures. But the Oahspe just shows you, like, well, this is what really happened as far as it was a sinking of a continent called Pan. Because it comes a time when the Creator is going to reveal all things. So it's going to come in increments during the time of history, just up to whoever to receive it.
Right. One quick question. I don't want to throw you off your bill.
No, go ahead. Like I said, I do this. I'm good.
What you think Pan is today, or where is it located today? Is it
Pan?
Yeah, Pan.
Oh, Pan is in the Pacific. Matter of fact, if you look on the let me see if I can pull it up. If you look at the coastline of Okinawa, Japan.
Oh, Japan.
Yeah, Okinawa, because the continent of, like, Japan is a relic of the continent of Pan.
Wow.
It's a piece of the continent that survived.
Oh, he might be on something, huh? Uh-oh.
That's cool.
They be adding up.
I never heard that. That's dope.
Yeah, so I'm gonna show you like some images. This is images off the coast of Okinawa, Japan, showing you the underground remnants of the sunken continent.
The ancient name of it was Pan. Great.
See that?
That's hard. Yeah.
See what it say? Japan, monuments of Japan. These are things that are off the coast of Japan that survived this deluge.
Oh,
this off the coast, all this off the coast of Japan. Look at this. This is remnants from the city of Pan. See what I'm saying? So, and this is 25,000 years ago that this flood took place. Say it again, King?
I shout out somebody in the podcast room. This made me laugh. Shout out to that brother, High Tech.
So yeah, so from the creation of man to the flood was 48,000 years, and from the flood to where we at today is 24,000 years, just using the basis of 3,000 year periods. So now, all right. So let me come back here. So we went through. All right. So let me come here now.
Woo.
Now we move. So now what I covered just now. We're just starting the creation of man, given the time period. Then I went into the first era of civilization, give a description for the Oahspe and show some references with cave paintings and art from those time periods of 40,000 years ago. Then I showed the Ring of Fire, which was the remnants of instability in the Pacific region, and showed you how that came about during the time of the flood. Now I'm going to go into the time of Thor, because people was clowning Thor when I mentioned it. I said Thor, and they was like, oh, that's that Norse god and all that stuff. But what I found out with the cycle of Thor is this. So now the cycle of Thor is the 20th arc cycle. Now, we're not talking about the hammer Thor in the mythology that we're familiar with, because I already did the knowledge on it.
Right.
This Thor in the Oahspe is 13,000 years ago. The Norse Thor is 800 AD. So we're not talking about the same Thor when they mention Thor in the Oahspe. I want to make that clear, because a lot of brothers are trying to clown me for that.
Right.
They didn't know the book, so they didn't know how to really, you know what I mean? They just see Thor, so they start. And I feel them, because I was the same way. I was like, Thor? I was like, damn, that's crazy. But when I researched it, I was like, damn, nigga, this shit deep. So, now go ahead, King.
Let's go. Got my hammer right here. Hammer Thor. He going in today, so I
got my hammer, son. And it's crazy because it kind of coincides, because when I read the purpose of Thor, it's going to bug you out. So the time of Thor is the 20th arc cycle. Now, remember, I told you the flood was the 17th arc cycle. The first era of civilization was the 10th arc cycle. Now we move into the 20th arc cycle, and the Etherian angel was called the Thor, son of Yahuwah, son of Jehovah. So now, for every archangel that comes, because I remember I said during a cycle, the earth is under the management of these Orion chiefs, or these Etherian angels. So here's just a quick summary of Thor's resume. It's like when you go to a job and you know, they looking at your resume. Oh, you did here, you work here, you work here. They have resumes of the gods. And here's one like this is just a brief description of Thor. So it says Thor, Orion chief of Dunga in Etheria. So right there is letting you know that he's an Etherian angel from right here. And then it's just telling you what he's been ruling as an Etherian in his reign. Wow. Like God of Killa. Now go ahead, King.
Right. So that's the story of Thor's actually was an angelic being, really. And they took the Greeks took Thor onto their mythos.
Yeah, because when you read the Oahspe, it shows you how some of these deities later on took on the name of Thor, impersonating themselves as Thor. And I was like, damn, yo, that's deep. But that's why I'm trying to get these cats to really read and understand, because it's going to expose these things to show you, like, wow, okay, this is not the Thor that I thought was in Greek mythology. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
This is totally something else. It's just the name threw niggas off because they familiar with Thor.
Right.
So now, basically, this verse is just talking about his resume. Like, he's, you know, Thor, Orion chief of Dunga in Etheria, god of Palau, surveyor of Yanti.
You know the high priest. Couple of Israelite high priests is going to come. They said, what you gonna bring out the high priest now? Go ahead.
Right.
All right. Yeah, just don't let that stop your bill. Go ahead, brother.
No. I told you can interrupt anytime, kid. I'm enjoying this, man.
Indeed. This
so long story short, this is just a resume of the God right here. And then it states in verse 2, it states, in the holy council of gods and goddesses in Dunga, the voice of Jehovah came to Thor, saying, my son, behold, the red star, the earth, she courses from Mars to Dan. Now, when he's talking about the red star, talking about the earth coursing, it's talking about this right here, the coursing of coming through these gardens, these arc cycles. So now the earth is coming within the 20th arc cycle, and this is when Jehovah is saying, look, behold, the red star, the earth, she courses from Mars to Da, basically from arc cycle to arc cycle. And it states what? Now drags in the swamps of Asaph. Behold, you shall deliver her through her dominions 3,200 years. So that's the length of the arc cycle of this 20th arc cycle. It's 3,200 years. So when we come back up to the chart right here, from here to here, it's 3,200 years from the arc cycle, from the 20th arc cycle to the 21st arc cycle is what? 3,200 years. That's what it's saying right there. So this is a cosmological thing we're dealing with. So what is the purpose of Thor? Now we about to get to the nitty gritty. Now this is the purpose of Thor. God foresaw that the knowledge of one generation could be handed down to the next generation by altars and temples, by idols and images, by painted signs and engraved words. And through all these things are in fact false, as a written word is not a word, but an image of an idea that has been spoken. So by symbols, God conveyed the living truth. So now, God said, behold, with my sacred people I have established myself in written words. Now it has come to pass that all races of man on the earth shall be made to know me. God commanded man to make what? Stones and wooden images and engravings also of everything upon the earth. And so man made them according to his own knowledge. He made them. Here's the catcher. God said, as every living creature has a name, so shall its image and its engraving having the same name. And so shall it be with all things on the earth and its waters and in the air above the earth. The image and the engraving shall have the same names as the real things themselves. So now check this out. God sent angels down to man to inspire him in the workmanship of images and engravings, and man thus accomplished the commandments of God. Look at this. What does it say? And these were the first writings since the flood. Huh? Other than those that were kept sacred among the ions. And the writings were in the following manner. Now they're showing you how the writing system works. A picture of a man was a man. A picture of a tree was a tree. A picture of a bird was a bird, and so on. Everything represented by its own name and images. Now here, check this out. Like I said, I got sources. I just don't be saying these things without having sources. Now here's a source. This is ancient North America gouged elaborate rock art into a heap of big boulders northeast of Reno, Nevada. More than 10,000 years ago, perhaps 15,000 years ago. That makes the carving the oldest known petroglyphs on the continent, according to paper published in the Journal of Archaeological Science. So according to the archaeological science, the oldest known petroglyphs is 10 to 15,000 years ago, and here's evidence of it. If you see close, you can see the petroglyphs on the rock. So basically what I'm saying is that Thor, the cycle of Thor, was the reintroduction of the petroglyphic language. And here go more proof of the Thor language. Rocks on stone, graven images. Here go some more. Right here, look what it say. European petroglyph, huh? 4th, 2nd millennium BC. So the purpose of Thor was introducing man to the petroglyphic system of writing. Here go some more petroglyphs. 1750, 500 BC, around this time period. What are petroglyphs? Let's see what petroglyphs are.
We sauced up.
Yeah, always.
The 5 mice.
So what is a petroglyph? Petroglyphs are images carved on the surface of rocks. Ain't that what Thor said he brought to the table? What did it say right here? Then God said, when you have made a picture of a... Now, all right, now this is the interpretation of the petroglyphs. So we just defined that petroglyphs are carved rocks, and we showed that right here. And keep in mind, this time period, let me just come back up real quick. This time period is right here. The cycle of Thor. This is 15,000 years ago we're talking about. So that petroglyph I showed of America right here, it states that this was 10 to 15,000 years ago. And this is North America. And here go the evidence of the petroglyphs. Somebody had to do that 10 to 15,000 years ago in North America. So now, coming back to the petroglyphs. What are petroglyphs? I explained their carvings on rocks. Now the Oahspe is going to explain how you use the petroglyphic system. Now, the Lord's 4th book, chapter 1 through 8 through 11, it states, then God said, when you have made the picture of a spear, behold, it is a spear. When you desire to show which way a man goes, you shall add to the graven image the likeness of a spear, and the way it points shall show the way man goes. And you shall express the going of everything on earth and in heaven in the same way, with the spear showing its direction. Now, here's an example. Now, this is a petroglyph. This is in America. This is in Utah. Now, based off what the Oahspe just explained above, if I was a hunter during this time, 30, 40,000 years ago, and I wanted to hunt some deers, and as a hunter, I come to this rock, and I see all these deers pointing in this direction. As a hunter, I know that the deers are in this direction. just like the verse stayed up here.
Mm-hmm.
When man had a picture, when you have made the picture of a spear, behold, it is a spear. And when you desire to show the way a man goes, you shall add to the graven image the likeness of a spear. And what? The way it points. Look at this. Look at the way these deers point. So if I'm a hunter trying to feed for my family, and I come across this rock, whoever made this rock, the next hunter, letting me know, like, yo, if you come this way, you're gonna find you some deers and you could go hunt. This is how the petroglyphic system was used in antiquity, long before the hieroglyphics of Egypt and long before Paleo-Hebrew. So again, here's another look. This is right here. This is in Nambia. This petroglyph is in Nambia. And look at the animals. Notice that all the animals are pointing in this direction.
Is that a giraffe?
That's a giraffe, exactly. That's a giraffe. They go a lion. So if I'm a hunter and I'm in Nambia in prehistoric times and I'm looking for food, all I got to do is look at this rock and notice all the animals are facing this direction. So I know to go this direction to hunt meat, to go hunt animals if I'm hungry as a hunter. This is how the petroglyphic system of writing was used 30, 40,000 years ago, 20, 15,000. Well, we're going to say 15,000 years because this is the time of Thor, the cycle of Thor, the time of the petroglyphic system. So now, it stated what? Thus, man made a written language, and in every region of the earth, by many men, these things were done, according to the light of God upon them. So they accomplished the writing language of thousands of tribes. But notice it said this was a writing system. And look, this is Nambia right here, showing you the animals all go. It ain't like some animals looking this way. They all looking in this one direction. And then we come up here to Utah and Africa. So this is Africa. This is America. And look at the same proceedings of system. The animals is all looking in this direction, and it's the same thing. The animals is all looking in this direction. So if I was in Utah as a hunter, I know to look this way and go in this direction to go hunt deer. If I'm in Africa and Nambia and I want to go hunt some zebras and lions or bulls, I know to look in this direction that the pictures are pointing to go in that direction to go hunt. This is the petroglyphic writing system. That's why it's there. Thus, man made a writing language based off. And these systems are the precursors of your hieroglyph, the precursors of your Paleo-Hebrew. This is the first writing system, long before Egypt.
But Selah, but they also can pull up some evidence of things that was happening. Are you saying that it's older? Because a lot of Bible thumpers could open up the scriptures and say this happened and this exists during that time. Are you saying it's because it's older?
Well, like this time period that these petroglyphs came about was during the time of Thor. So what I did was pull up petroglyphs from 15,000 years ago, because the cycle of Thor is 1353 BC. You added 2,000, you're going to get 15,000 years ago. So these petroglyphs are from 15,000 years ago on coming on down.
Right.
Like this one in America, it stated this is 10,000 to 15,000 years ago that these petroglyphic systems was found in the Americas. And then you have others that basically they really found all over the world, because this right here is Spain. Yeah, this is Spain, a petroglyph in Spain, and they date this 4th to 2nd millennium BC.
Okay, all right. So we on the same page. I'm just saying you revealing this, showing how accurate the Oahspe is.
Correct. I'm showing you.
Right, I got you. Okay.
Right. So what I'm doing, I'm reading from the Oahspe, and then I'm referencing the time period.
Right.
Showing evidence of that.
Right, and time period, which the Bible doesn't tell you an exact time. Exactly.
Gotcha. So for example, Adam was told to name all the creatures. Well, this will be equivalent to that time, not necessarily the time of Adam in the Bible, but as far as the idea that Adam was told to name all things, and this will be coinciding with the cycle of Thor, when man was told to create all things on rocks and stone, creating this petroglyphic system.
Yeah.
So again, it states right here. Thus, now keep in mind, this was found all over the world, all these petroglyphs, different times in history. But it says,
Yeah. The cave
Thus
arts.
man
Yeah.
made a written language, and in every region of the earth. See that? That's why I showed here is Namibia, here is Utah, and then you got Scandinavia. Same system all over the
You
world.
see those animals in Scandinavia?
Those are people, I think.
Oh yeah. I was about to say, I want to go hunt nothing else. All right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this was a writing system, and let's go to this verse. It says, God said, this shall be called the panic language, Oahspe, earth language, because it is made of earthly images. And in later times, whoever desired to find the first writing words of man shall have recourse to the pictures of all things on earth, in the waters, and in the air above the earth. So even the Oahspe is letting you know that the first writing system are petroglyphs, long before the hieroglyphs. Huh? Long before the hieroglyphs. These are the precursors of the hieroglyphic system. Because when you look at the hieroglyphic in the Paleo Hebrew, those are like you look at the Aleph, that's a bullhead. But where do you think the bullhead the idea came from? It came from these petroglyphic systems. And this is before really like alphabet. This is just showing you direction how to read the system based off of images. Now it states here, God said, as in the ancient times, man named all things according to their own spoken words and sounds uttered. So in what? The days of Thor, the written words of everything on earth and in heaven came to the Gons. Now this word Gons right here, these are copper-colored people in the Oahspe. These are black people. So you're talking about black people 13, 15,000 years ago that is responsible for creating these petroglyphic systems. These ain't no white people. These are copper-colored people. When you look at the Gons and the Oahspe, these are copper-colored people. See that? They want to talk about the Oahspe. They don't know what they're talking about. Now, in the book of Thor, son of Jehovah, thus the earth went into great darkness during the last 600 years of the cycle of Thor, and there was no harvest from her heavens for the Etherian heavens. There was no harvest from her for the Etherian heavens. But the spirits deserted Atmospheria in millions upon millions and went down to the earth to dwell with mortals and to find places to live on a corporeal earth. But the secret on this verse is the darkness that came the last 600 years of the cycle of Thor. Now check this out. This is the cycle of Thor. The cycle of Thor is from 1553 BC, from 13,553 BC to 10,353 BC. This is within this time period is the 20th arc cycle. And within this time period is when you had the Yonder's Dryas. That's the last ice age. And that coincides with what the Oahspe said at the ending of the cycle of Thor. It says, thus the earth went into great darkness during the last 600 years of the cycle of Thor. This great darkness, what happens when darkness comes? It gets cold. This coincides with the Yonder's Dryas. So I'm just showing you how the Oahspe, this shit ain't making up shit. This shit giving you something to go check and reference to see if it's even making sense. And this is the last part right here of the presentation, because this is where the history of most of us familiar with. This is the 23rd and the 24th arc cycle after the creation of man, right here. Now, when we come to this time period on the time chart, like I said, this is what? The 23rd arc cycle after the creation of man, and look at the time period. 3953 BC. What does that mean? This is the time period. And this time period from 3953 BC to 1553 BC, that's the length. Within this time period is when the Egyptian dynasties roll up. So all that Egyptian talk everybody be talking about is during that time period. Here's an example. See that? Look at this. See the creation of man. See the first era of civilization we went through. See the time of the flood we went through. Now we're at the 22nd and 23rd arc cycle. But look here. Look what I got. Look what it said. The 23rd arc cycle. Look at the time period. Look at the time period. 7th millennium BC to 3953 BC. Then when you come to the 23rd arc cycle, that's where all your ancient Egyptian at right here. See that? Look at Narmer, 3153, 3100 BC, right? Look at the Old Kingdom. But all this is engridded within the 23rd arc cycle. This is the 23rd arc cycle right here. The 23rd arc cycle. I got the earth right here in the 23rd arc cycle. Then I brought it down and spread out the 23rd arc cycle so you can see the time period and the histories. So when we talk about ancient Egypt and Kemet, you right here. But this is the 23rd arc cycle. But I just showed you the flood going back 25,000, 24,000 years ago. some of the evidence of the first Arab civilization 45,000 years ago, and the cycle of Thor, what I just read was the 20th arc cycle. So I just showed you all these things prior to coming to Egypt. Now we at Egypt. 23rd arc cycle after the creation of man, 3953 BC to 1553 BC. This is the time period of Kemet. Nakata the Nakata period, that's 4th millennium BC. There you go right there. And there go Narmer, pre-dynastic Egypt. There you go right there. The Old Kingdom. There go the Middle Kingdom. That's when Israel came into Egypt. Y'all want to talk about the Israelites? That's when y'all came into Egypt during the Middle Kingdom. And look over here. You got the New Kingdom. This is the 24th arc cycle now. You come down. Yeah, this is the 24th arc cycle right here. And then the 24th arc cycle, it started 15 millennium BC. Yeah, they go to New Kingdom. They go to rise of the false god Baal who inspired Israel. They go to Israelites' captivity. They go goddamn the Tanakh being created by Ezra. We got the Septuagint right all right here. I got all the history right here. They go Constantine, the rise of Muhammad. All that took place within the 24th arc cycle.
So hey, you dropping it.
Yeah.
You're dropping it, man. You're going to go ahead.
You know what I mean? But I just wanted to show that this is how the Oahspe lays out what we call these arc cycles of 3,000-year periods. It gives you a good way to measure time. So the 22nd arc cycle is 7th millennium BC to 4th millennium BC. And this is the Fayan A culture in Africa, 9,000 BC to 6,000 BC. And then you got the Badarian culture, 5,000 BC to 4,000 BC. And then you got the Nakata period, 4th millennium BC to 3150 BC when Narmer came on the scene. Then you got pre-dynastic Egypt starting 2853 BC. And then you got the Old Kingdom, the time of the pyramids, when they were talking about the pyramid text and all that. That's right here. Then you got the Middle Kingdom. All that's taking place within the 24th arc cycle. And you have all these periods prior to that. So when we talk about history, we really don't know nothing, because the most history we know is just a recap of this time period right here, 6,000 years ago. This is the period. This is Narmer right here. Prior to Narmer, we in the Stone Ages, really. Prior to Narmer, all the Kemetic civilization is right here. And this is the 23rd arc cycle after the creation of man. So we don't even have a real recap of history when it comes down to these things. And this is the 24th arc cycle. See, 1848 AD, this present time. So this is the last arc cycle we just came out of. 1553, that's the beginning of the New Kingdom right here. And then 1069 BC, that's when Baal inspired Israel and gained inspiration over the Israelites. And then 1020 BC, you got the kings of Israel and Judah. That lasted until 722 BC when they fell into captivity. 586 BC, they went into Judah captivity. 450 BC, Ezra came with the Tanakh. And then 286, Ptolemy II came with the Septuagint. And then comes the 1st century, Yeshua. 300 years after Yeshua, they go Constantine, who established Christianity. A couple years after him, they go Muhammad. And here we are today, 1848 present time, right here. So the history that everybody be bragging about, they think they know, it's only 2 arc cycles over 3,000-year periods on our chart.
Yo, it's good to see a timeline, though. Like, this is nice. I like the way it's organized. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Give thanks, King.
This is good for the mind to, like, get an idea of, like, what was happening when. Do you know what I mean? Because
exactly.
This was not taught in schools.
And it should be. And this is just a breakdown of the timelines of history. I didn't even go into the gods and their inspiration of mortals yet. I just wanted to show Killa Priest that that when I heard you mention arc cycles on Sonetta, I said, you know what, that would be something good to address these arc cycles so you can see how the time periods in history play out. And to show you how small of a time period of history we really got. Because, like I said, this is the 23rd, this is the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th arc cycle after the creation of man. And it's really the 23rd is where all the history that we know really starts, because they go Narmer. That's when Egypt history's prior to Narmer. The Nakata, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd period is just pottery and little monuments and stuff like that. But the Old Kingdom of Egypt and the Middle Kingdom, all that is right here. But this is the 23rd arc cycle after the creation of man. This is right here. But we got all this history going back before ancient Egypt, but we think ancient Egypt is the zenith. That's the beautiful thing about the Oahspe, because it gives you these timelines that you can play with. And basically, King, that's the end of the presentation. That's just what I want to present.
And you separated the ages in there, right? like the Iron Age and the Copper Age.
Yeah. You know what? Exactly. Yeah, I just didn't chop that on the joint, but yeah, you got the Neolithical age, the Paleolithical. I can add all that in there, and you can see the time lyrics, the time periods expanding out. It's dope.
Nice.
Yeah, all right. I'm
That's
gonna bring
well
y'all
done.
on now. I'm gonna bring y'all on.
Fire.
Rest of the team. Yeah. Yo, that was crazy. Selah, Shalom. You get another bomb for that.
Hey man, give thanks. All this came from y'all
Well, no-
guys, man. All the guys from back in the 90s that put the battery in young cats like me at the time
Yeah.
to go do research and do knowledge, and we never stopped. That's why it's important for consciousness to be in the music like it used to be, because
Right.
we are offspring of you guys. I was 16 and 17 in 1997. You niggas was already grown men. So as a
No
16,
doubt.
17-year-old listening to this knowledge, me and my
Right.
niggas, we 16, 17. It said today's mathematics. He said the black man God. What that mean? We 16, 17-year-old thinking like that.
Yo,
That's what this new generation is missing, man.
man. Fire, yeah. Coming up. Oh man, this is fire. Fire. I got some more people. Word, no doubt. More guests. More or less. Yo, you are nothing to play with.
Yeah, and this ain't even a debate. You see what I'm saying?
Nah.
This is just a presentation. So that's why I said, like, dealing with the Oahspe, we could deal with anybody, because I just showed you where Kemet at. If you want to deal with Kemet, we can go to the 23rd arc cycle and we can deal with Kemet. If you want to go before Kemet, we can deal with the petroglyphs and go there. You know what I'm saying? So it's beautiful, man.
And I know you had a debate on that was coming up soon.
Yeah, with
the
Neftali.
Sister, yeah, with the sister Neftali.
Yeah, it got real political. A lot of stuff been going. Because I ain't been really keeping up like that. I just been doing my research and just. But today is when I seen all the friction. I was just like, man, this is just a topic. You know, maybe we come with our books and then we just present the information. You know, people like Cosmo said earlier, people are smart enough to judge on their own what make common sense or not.
Right. Indeed, man. Man, you just dropped some. That's the arc cycles.
Yeah, and that's not Killer Priest. That's not even the surface of what I can really put and show. You know what I mean? With the gods and the influence of the gods are mortals during them time periods too. You know what I mean?
Right. That's just a scratch of the surface.
Yeah, we had her on the show. She spoke about Atlantis.
Oh, Neftali?
Yeah. Where would you say Atlantis would be on the timeline?
Now to me, like Atlantis, Lemuria, I think all that is referring to the continent of Pan, because the way the Oahspe describes Pan, and it really doesn't show no significant, no reference to an Atlantis, because if you look at Pan or the Pacific Ocean, there's a 7-mile drop off the Pacific Ocean. It's a 7, like you come off the coastline, it's a 7-mile drop, 7-mile drops off the Pacific Ocean. I forgot what they call it because I was doing the homework on the Pacific floor, because the Pacific Ocean floor is different than the Atlantic. That's why they call it the Ring of Fire on the Pacific side, because it's an instability region based off that sinking of the continent.
No doubt. Oh man, yeah,
Wow.
yeah, Pine. Yeah, Pine.
And, you know what? That verse where I was talking about Japan. Let me just read how. I'm gonna just read real quick how Japan is a relic of that continent that the Oahspe talk about. Matter of fact, let me find the verse and then I'm gonna just read. It's a quick verse, but I just want to show you the connection between the continent of Japan and the continent of Pan itself, how it coincide. And I found that pretty interesting when I was doing the homework and the knowledge on it. I was like, okay, let me get this right quick. Yeah, man. This stuff
let me acknowledge Miyoshi up in the building.
Hey, everyone. Peace and blessings. Happy Monday.
Peace, Queen.
Yeah, no doubt. You seen the show, Miyoshi, Rasul.
Peace.
Peace to the God.
Yeah, exactly. And so you got your hair braided, looking nice.
Represent my African tribe.
Okay.
Embracing it.
All right, that's true. And we got something special a little later on. My man is here. We shot the video. Yo, you enjoy yourself? Yeah. It's heavy, huh? Yeah. Selah, Shalom.
All right, I'm gonna share my screen one more time, and it's the last time. I just want to show this little
man, don't hold back, bro. Don't hold back here, man. You letting it out. I mean, the viewers are looking. People on there is like, oh man,
That's love, man.
This is incredible.
So just coming back to a reference to Japan now, in the sinking of the pen, there were some survivors that survived that then went to Japan after the flood, and it talks about that in the Oahspe right here. It says the fleet of 2 ships carried to the north was named Yesta, which in the Waga, meaning Pan tongue, was called Zapan, which is the same country that is to this day called Japan, signifying relics of the continent of Pan. For it lied to the north where the land was cleaved in twine. So it is saying that Japan is a relic and a piece that survived the sinking of the continent of Pan. And that's why I was showing them little like the underground monuments off the coast of Okinawa, Japan, showing you the evidence of those things. You know what I mean? But that's all I want to show.
We got that. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. Man, what do you feel about the Kabbalion?
The Kabbalah?
Yeah, no, the Kabbalion. Right, of the Hermetic teachings.
What's about again? The Kabbalion? You ain't talking about the Cobran Bible. You ain't talking about the Cobran.
No, it's called the Kabbalion. The Hermetic orders. There's just other schools of just other schools of thought. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
They're cultic wisdom. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because
all that,
they definitely would label what you're doing, you know what I'm saying, what you breaking out. I know Israelites because they're and one of them had me laughing. And it's like, well, that's it, I guess. And I know you get attacked.
Right.
I know they a lot of people. This is very controversial.
Yeah, it is.
It's outside the norm. This is to shake you up a little bit. And
right.
Yeah, exactly. But the science of it, you said you going into the high art. And it's, hey man, you showed the picture. You bought your sources.
Right,
the sources were there. You know,
so you got. No, go ahead, Ken. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, like I was just showing the sources for the time period in history within the arc cycles that the book referenced. You know what I mean? So when I showed the petroglyphs, I showed petroglyphs from the time period that would coincide with what I was reading. So it said 15,000 years ago. I found some evidence around that time. The flood, the primary evidence for me with the flood is the ring of fire. Mm-hmm. And then I read how in the Oahspe, how they hedged around the continent and they compressed it and sunk it underwater, and you still see the instability through the ring of fire. And then, of course, the 23rd and 24th arc cycle, you just seen the amount of history that we got being the last 6,000 years.
Mm. So you believe that the Oahspe should be the answer to it all?
No, I look at it like another book just of information. It's like, on the quest of knowledge, we start off with a couple of books and then we get stuck in a book. And then when other information comes that can be answers to what you're looking for, you reject it because you became naive and you started getting tunnel vision thinking that the Bible is the only book or the Quran is the only book or the Circle 7 is the only book. And then here come the Oahspe wiping out all the books.
Right. I totally agree with him.
Wiping it all out, huh?
So it's not the Oahspe is not the end all be all. It's just another book to just enlighten you about creating creation.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
No doubt.
I like your mindset.
Give thanks, Queen.
Yeah, indeed. Man, so I want to talk about the controversy spot, but I know because I'm trying to. How could going into this and it's like, oh, okay, we educating ourselves and you're well versed in it, and we see that and we hear that, you know what I'm saying, and I'm like, man, it's making more sense as you go on, and I know you came against being in it for so many years. You came in against so many angles,
right?
So many angles, you know what I'm saying.
And I got attacked from so many angles too. That's what made me sharper because every angle I was attacked on, I just go ahead and research and nip that area. So if it comes again, I already got it in the bud. That's when, like when Nepal was trying to say about the Oahspe, the colonizers, or white man, the colonizer. I did a whole presentation talking about Israelite colonizers in the Bible, showing that your brothers was playing colonizers against Joseph before the white man was even on the scene.
True.
So why even bring up the low carnal vibrational frequency when we're trying to rise on a higher vibrational frequency with this information?
Right. Well, shout out to her because I'm trying to. She's gonna come on to the show. So you know what I'm saying. Me and Sadet are talking about that. So shout out to her too to bring her on the show. Yeah, but yeah, they're gonna come. And I wanted to add something on to that. You got something to say? Because I want to add something on to that. Yeah, because I'm sitting up here thinking
I like the presentation.
And you know that this presentation, you know when I spoke to you yesterday, Priest?
Yeah.
I put that together this morning. So I got other presentations that is way more detailed than going in on it. Because what I was gonna do, like with the debate with Neftali, that presentation I got right there, that's it. There ain't no comeback from that. When you see that cosmological science start bringing out the Oahspe and creation and how I trickled it down to the arc cycles, I had a whole presentation from creation of just showing you how things are created and generated and coming on down like to these arc cycles. I got a whole presentation on that, just dealing with the science.
Yeah, she's supposed to come. She's supposed to come through. She told me, you know what I'm saying? We talked about it. She's supposed to come through.
So even if she don't, no, this all good, man. I ain't got no gripe with the system, man. It's like I ain't gonna lie, like from what I've seen these last couple days, it's like, you know what I mean? Like they've been giving her due respect. They've been attacking her, and she been kind of like,
I told
you
you,
know what I mean? Like yo, this, you know, yeah.
Well,
You know, so at this point, I'm like, man, I'm just here to teach, man. It's like the debate thing is cool. I already know cats gonna lose because I know the Bible, man. It's not like it's like martial arts. I know jujitsu and I know Muay Thai kickboxing, and all you doing is coming with karate. I'm gonna whoop your ass. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. It's on the podcast. I told you to be on. See, like it's going in. No holds barred. It's going in.
But you know,
are you familiar with real quick? Are you familiar with Mighty Hebrew?
Oh man,
come on, man! Me and Mighty Hebrew, man, right there, yo.
You talking about the arcs?
He another extension of the Wu type of cat, man. Because me and him be chopping it up. See, Mighty Hebrew more along on my lines because he's more dealing with the higher levels of knowledge. So me and him, we ain't got no problem. He respect what I do, and I respect what he do.
Yeah. Because I know if you're gonna talk about a couple of thousand years, and you know he lives in those realms of the.
Yo, he goes into the billions. I'd be like, man, how you gonna go back a billion years and you ain't even showing what took place in the last 6, 7, 8,000 years?
He said Abraham was 1,000,000 years old.
I'm like, see, that's when I started.
When he say something like that, it's like, all right, man, you go ahead and just talk. Go on, just talk.
Yeah, when you start talking like that, I'm like, all right, bro.
Yeah, you in unfamiliar areas.
It's like I don't respect. I'm not don't respect. I respect cats when they could show, like if I like, you know, niggas talk about 66 trillion years ago. I'm like, come on, bro. How you gonna talk about 66 trillion years ago?
You gonna drop
when niggas having a hard time picking up 6,000 years of history now?
Right. True. 66 trillion. Yeah, exactly. You're just gonna drop a number like that on somebody.
I'm like,
I mean, you know,
somebody just broke up when you say 66 trillion years.
Well, York says 76 trillion years of information.
Yo, I'm not gonna a lot of the Oahspe reminds me of the Nuwaubian a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I used to be downtown. That's why I said these cats don't know me, bro. I used to be downtown with the Oahspe face to face with the Nuwaubians, chopping them up with the Oahspe. They told me, bring that book to the temple, because it was a temple on Auburn Avenue downtown.
Who'd you meet down there?
Bring that book to the temple.
Say it again?
Who'd you meet down there?
Well, it was a couple brothers.
Well, I definitely wasn't there that day.
Yeah, I ain't know them brothers by name.
Right here.
But they used to be right in front of 5 Point.
Yeah, right in front of 5 Point. Yeah, I used to be out there too. I never ran into you.
I'm trying to look at you. Well, you know, so you.
I was out. Did you have your garbs on?
Sometimes I had my garb on. Yep, I did.
We used to be out there like 99, 98, 99.
No, I wasn't there then.
You was active.
No, I wasn't down there. No, I was Nuwaubian, but I wasn't down in Atlanta at that time.
They used to be in front of 5 Points. It used to be the Nuwaubians. It used to be the Israelites. It used to be the 5%ers, and it used to be the Christians. And we used to have a big cipher, and we used to be going hard body at it back then.
Wow.
In Atlanta?
Yeah, downtown Atlanta in the late 90s, we used to have the ciphers, big ciphers. I'm talking about Israelites, 5%ers. The
Who was Andre 3000 at? I
No,
know he was, he had to be-
they wasn't around that. They
call
wasn't
it
around. They
some
wasn't in the
celebrities.
city like that. In
Oh,
downtown.
no.
All of them was around at that time, because at that time when Doc was down there, you know, everybody was conscious. Like, you know, you had the Goody Mob coming out at that time down there. Remember that, Priest? And then you had Outkast came out with the ATL. Remember that?
Yeah, the AT aliens.
Mhm.
I knew they was on something though. I was
That's around the time when Doc was
Yo,
big
a lot
down
of,
there.
don't get it
too.
twisted. A lot of cats in the knowledge. I mean, a lot of cats in Atlanta, because you know, back in the 90s when I was in high school growing up, they used to clown the South and say niggas in the South was slow. But you know, the
that's
cats
bad because I'm from the South. You know, I was in the South. I'm coming from Columbia, South Carolina.
Oh, that's what's up.
Hey, 803 in the building.
Right.
hey, bring it down. We got a couple of super chats for you. You ready?
All right.
Go ahead, AD. We got one before that too.
Apollo Sankofa says, "This is why collaborative study is more powerful than debates. You don't have to believe to understand." Shout out Killer Priest.
Hey, no, shout out to Selah, man. He's bringing it.
Right.
Studying, and when you capture it, and you can deliver it back, man, that's golden, man. That's more than anything. You know what I'm saying?
That sounds when you could teach.
Yoshi was heavy into the dark arts, right? Which was into. She dabbles into the books, and y'all wouldn't even know, but she goes into a lot of those books too, and she recognized real, but she be dropping a lot of deep knowledge that cats wouldn't even know.
I want to hear more about the queen that you said that was ruling things too, and I like how you brought her up, and the fact that letting us know that women wasn't always quiet, and that's why I want to hear more about that when you come back.
Yeah, like I could do a presentation on the female influence in the Oahspe, because in the Oahspe,
I want to hear about that.
Yeah, the highest ranking angels in the Oahspe is the females.
Well,
like when I was describing that flood, Killer Priest, just now when I was describing the flood, it was a female goddess who outranked all of them, who came to bear witness to the scene.
Right.
And it's other little scriptures where like the females run shit in the Oahspe. It ain't like the dudes just running things.
Yeah, but in ancient Sumer, the females ran stuff too. You had Inanna, and in Kemet, you had Isis. You had I'm sorry to call it a Greek name, but I'm just saying. So that wasn't so far off. And the Canaanite deities. Yeah. So why wouldn't it be? Back then that the females was in there.
But there's a scripture time hearing about the
right.
Oahspe. So I want to, when you come back a part 2, let it be like feminine energy, so we can.
We could definitely do that, because a lot of like they think this is like a man book or something. Like the women dominate the Oahspe.
Standing for my women out there. Yeah, part 2, let it be all about the women.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right. you saw Lady King yet? What's that?
I did see Woman King.
King, huh?
Yes, I did.
How many times?
I seen it once.
Okay, no doubt.
Were you inspired?
First of all, I'm inspired regardless, because I'm here. And I'm on a purpose. I'm on a mission. But yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, it was good. I seen it. It was pretty good. I like the fact that how the daughter, that was her daughter the whole time.
Yes.
That was dope. Yes.
We won't give the whole movie away, but yeah, it was.
Yeah, because the part where she was talking back to her, like, I'm like, damn, she disrespecting an old lady like that. Could have found out that's her daughter, and she's just showing mommy, like, yo, I got this from you unknowingly. You know what I'm saying?
Unknowingly, right. And it's crazy how she recognized it.
Right.
She started recognizing, like, wait a minute, this girl had to come from me, because she started going back. Yeah.
That shows you the power of females' discernment, because in the Oahspe, females got a greater discernment than men. They know when something ain't right, or they know
that's true.
They know better than us when it comes to discernment. We got good discernment, but a woman's discernment is matchless. My wife be knowing things about me. I be like, how you know that? I ain't tell you. You just
we are your third eye. We are your pineal gland. We're like we are really your rib.
They have higher powers of intuition.
And you know, a good movie that shows that, when you look at the movie 300, when Leonidas went to go talk to the oracles to get information about the Persians, who did they get the knowledge from? It was a woman.
Yeah.
She was in a trance, and the oracles went like this. She said, whispered, and then what did they say? Leave them niggas alone, basically. If you go to war with them Persians, they're going to kick your ass, Leonidas. And he ain't listening. He ended up dying. He ain't listening to the oracle, which was the woman.
Yeah. They try to treat the woman like Joan of Arc. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Turn her to a stake and call her a witch. You know, all she did was help France or whatever win the whole thing. You know, when they started going into tapping into their real feminine God energy. You know what I'm saying? Esther. Well, I was going to show a little.
And the crazy thing is that in the 25th arc cycle after the creation of man, because like I say, for every arc cycle, it's under the management of these high-raised angels. And the 25th arc cycle, the arc cycle we're in right now, is under the control of a woman.
Right.
It's a goddess, an Etherian goddess, and the Oahspe talks about it. That's crazy.
Wow. What's her name?
Miss Chilachiva. It's hard to pronounce. But matter of fact, next time we do it and go live, I'll bring out all that information so we can really present it. Yeah, you'll enjoy that.
We got a super chat for Miyoshi. You can read it.
Oh, it's from Apollo. He says, feminine energy like Miyoshi definitely make real men submit. I mean, you know, well, talk to me. You know, talk to me.
All right.
Real men. And I'm talking about protecting.
And the creator is made up of masculine and feminine energy. Like in the Bible, you know,
promoters,
look, you gotta fight. Look at
I'm talking about all that. Those are my 5 P's for my man. You know, if y'all want to take them, go ahead. So my 5 P's, you know, my stance.
Well, there you have it.
Prophets.
No, it was provider, protector, priest, prophet, promoter. My 5 P's for my man. So if you listening,
hey, all right, that was me.
Well, there you go.
We got other.
How many priests out there? Prophets.
And I am giving Ladybug energy. I hope we are exhilarating, you know, this energy, this luck. You know, the moon is in Leo.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is just, you know, within, without, you know, as above, so below. You know, this is all, you know, this is all divine.
That's right.
You know, and shout out to the God that gave us this information because you really inspired me. You made the pieces.
That is dope. Ladybug energy. Yo, y'all crap. Y'all gotta stop with that, man. Stop. Ladybug energy.
Yeah. I hope they, you know, feeling that energy.
Exactly.
You know, we exhilarate that, you know, that luck, which is love. You know,
exactly.
It's magic, lady of magic.
We got one from Draytheo. He says, "Why is it called panic language?"
Because it's a language of earthly images. That's what it. When I read the verse when it said panic languages, it had in parentheses earthly images. So it's basically earthly images. And it says panic because panic meaning it's referring to the continent of Pan.
Wow.
Because on that continent, that like what I read about Thor with the petroglyphic system, that was the first writing system from the flood. But prior to the flood, they was using that same petroglyphic system pre-Diluvian times.
We got another one here.
I'm sorry.
From Abel, he says, "Amazing build, keep going in, bro."
Most definitely. Matter of fact, Killer Priest. One day, you know that video I sent you earlier today, the timetables of prophecy.
Yeah.
Whenever you get a chance to look at that, we could set up, and I could do a complete breakdown of that. I created on my computer because I got it on the wall, but I could do it on my computer and actually go down through that because that's the full totality of the breakdown. And like what I was breaking down is within the timetables of prophecy. So once you get the whole spectrum of that, it's like, man.
Oh man, I can't wait. All right, I'm gonna check out. I'm gonna check it out, and then we're gonna bring you back on that tip.
Yeah, that right there will clear up everything.
Okay.
And that's the crazy thing. They be like, yo, does the Oahspe got prophecy? I said, bro, we got a whole thing called the timetables of prophecy.
Wow. Keep your joy up in the building. Yeah, no doubt.
Keep your joy.
No doubt. We're gonna bring him up here. This brother, I just shot a video, right? And we didn't get to release it yet, but I want to share this with everyone because we're gonna let him premiere it. And he shot this video. This brother, me and him, we was kicking it on the Ave a couple of times. I let him talk about it. You know what I'm saying? You come on up here, man. Come on here. His name is keep it. Yeah.
Get the mic.
His name is Keep Your Joy.
Keep your joy.
Yeah, a little more bit. It's called A Brother's Letter. Come on in.
Peace.
Peace, bro.
Thanks for having me.
Get that mic close to you there.
Cool.
There you go. Perfect.
Gotcha.
You never know here, Selah. We got a lot.
We have a Rasta there, boy. A Bobo Ashanti in the building, or what?
Yes, indeed. Yes.
Yeah. So we met on the street.
Yeah.
Actually, I seen you walking downtown
Mm-hmm.
I was walking with my girl, and I was like, "Yo, I think that was Killa Priest," and I just introduced myself to you.
Yeah, indeed, brother.
And then, we were talking about shooting a video. I was like, "Yeah, I shoot videos. I do photos. Let me know if you want to build on anything."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then we talked a couple times and shot the video for the Brother's Letter. Yeah.
And it took a long time because this man is mad busy, yo. He does, when I saw his work, I was like, oh my goodness, like it's the real deal, bro.
I appreciate it.
And one time he submitted you submitted a song or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, on the craft here.
And it was
Nice.
fire, and nobody caught it. And remember, I was like, oh, that's my man.
Yeah.
Word.
What artist name?
It goes by Music to Make Films.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was like black and white. You were saying you liked the production.
How long ago was that?
Like 3 months ago, maybe.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like
It's black and white. I was walking through the sewer
Oh yeah, I do remember.
in by the LA River, the tunnels.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
And everyone was saying it was kind of like, oh, it reminds me of like 90s, like 9 Inch Nails or something like that. Yeah.
Okay, nice.
It was shot dope.
Very cool.
Keep your joy, man.
Yeah.
Word. How do you get a name like that?
Honestly, I was having a hard time, man, with some personal stuff. And then I heard the song by Ja Mason. It's called Keep Your Joy. And the whole song is like, keep your joy, even if you're unemployed, keep your joy, keep your joy, every little girl and boy. And that was like my mantra.
Right,
So like keep me like positive, right?
Right.
And then I told my brethren Ross G. I'm like, man, just start calling me Keep Your Joy.
Yeah.
Oh, not Ross G from LA, the beat maker.
Right.
Rest in peace. There's a Ross Gilbert in Texas.
Right.
He's interesting. You should have him on, man. He talks about like darkness technology and Mexican Rasta. He be all kinds of herbal stuff, botanical, and going into the dark and like time traveling, like King Pakal.
Wow.
Yeah, he's deeper than on the knowledge.
We gotta bring him on.
Yeah.
Selah's into medicine too, man. I mean, I've been checking your stuff out, and he's into the herbs. Selah, Shalom.
Yeah, most definitely. You know, I grew up. I'm Trinidadian, so that's always been a part of my upbringing, dealing with bush and the herbals and them things.
The bush.
Man, as a bushman, you know.
Indeed.
It's just when I came across Dr. Saber, he actually made me go into the science. I was like, yo, because I remember he made a statement. He was like, the physician, though, when he was in court or something, he was like, yo, they're going to challenge me on science compared to like me just talking about the herbs is good. So when he said science, I was like, damn, okay. And then when he started talking about certain things about, of course, you know, the basics, the pH, the alkaline, acid and alkaline and all that stuff, and the mineral makeup and all that, I was like, damn, how I missed that coming up? How I ain't know that my bones is calcium and that I need plants from calcium to keep my calcium cells healthy. It's like that shit ain't registered all these years of dealing with herbs. But when he said science, so it made me study the periodic table of elements, which is the physical makeup of all things in creation, and it made me study plants, which is the minerals that is used to get the necessary minerals for your body. Because you can't take an iron rock and eat the rock and thinking you're gonna get the nutrition because it ain't go through the plant. It ain't go through a living source, and they become electrical, like Sabi say. A rock, like when you get the calcium rock or the iron rock out the store, those are inorganic rocks. They're non-electrical. It's going to create debris and constipation in your intestines. But if you get that same iron if you got some iron rocks and you got plants growing over those iron rocks like yellow dock and burdock, now you could take and get your iron through these sources without having any constipation side effects.
I want that burdock, man. Iron burdock keep coming up.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Burdock and yellow dock grow wild out here. When you see a picture of burdock and yellow dock and then you go out and look, you'll be surprised at how like yellow dock grow like dandelion out here.
Ooh, that's like the new ginseng.
Yeah,
that's all like
ginseng's
iron.
out of here, man. Burdock,
yeah,
man.
burdock
Yeah,
and sarsaparilla and dandelion.
Sarsaparilla, exactly.
Sarsaparilla.
I got all that in the tonics, man. The tonics, it'll have you an aphrodisiac and have you and your girl doing some miraculous things.
Okay, send me some of those. Yo, what's the well, I was gonna say, dang, it just took it right out of my head.
We got another super chat.
Oh yeah, it was super chat for you real quick. Yeah.
We got one here from again Apollo Sankofa. He says, Selah, what's the difference, or is there one between karma, sin, and the Oahspe grade system?
Well versed.
Karma is what you do to somebody and it can come back to you. So, like, for each individual human being has a guardian angel working with them, just like a parent. So you could do some shit to somebody and that karma will come back to you, but it could be some unseen forces working with that karma. You know what I mean? You may go shoot a man, kill a man dead, and you think you got away with it because it's just you and that man. But there's angelical beings watching you do these things.
Yes, I agree with that.
And then the Oahspe talks about you have warrior trained angels who could kill mortals through annihilation of poison by carrying poison through the air and annihilate mortals to death, like the COVID. We can get real deep into talk about these false gods and how they move outside of visible light and can harm people without us even knowing it. That's the beautiful thing about the Oahspe, because it's making you aware of these unknown entities and forces that's interfering with human affairs.
You ever heard of the mushroom spores? Like when the dust. You ever heard of the mushroom spores?
You talking about like the mushrooms, like
psychedelics? Psychedelics and the mushrooms that just grow in the wild.
Hell
the medicinal ones and the edible ones, they shoot out these spores that you don't see. The wind brings them up, and it's by the thousands. They just float through the air. No one can see them. They're controlling everything, and they go they land into the trees. That's how they keep moving on. You know what I'm saying? So it's not detected by the naked eye, but they move, and this is how mushrooms travel through. So through even nature, you can see that's not what you see that governs and rule that what you do see.
They have their own network.
Exactly. Yeah. And the science to that is that, because a lot of people think when you talk about unseen, you're talking about spookism. But for me, there's three principal things in creation that you can't escape. One is the periodic makeup of elements, the periodic table of elements, which is the physical makeup of creation, seen and unseen. And then you have the electromagnetic spectrum with the vibrational frequency of everything seen and unseen. And then you have the pH balance, which is the balance of life during an inhabitable time of a planet. So when we talk about unseen things, we're talking about the electromagnetic spectrum, because we see things 400 to 700 nanometers. Anything outside of 400 to 107 nanometers outside of what we consider outside of visible light. The spirits and these angels, they move outside of visible light. They're moving at a faster vibrational frequency that the eyes cannot pick up on. So if I could see 400 nanometers and a spirit comes to me and he's 450, 500 nanometers, he's moving outside of visible light. And I'm going to show you a picture of an ancestor that my man caught right up the street from where I live. He caught an ancestor, a spirit standing on his porch, and they got the actual picture and the footage. And I want to show you that one real quick before.
Yeah, because we have frequencies of sound, frequencies of light, but people don't realize it's frequencies of matter.
Right.
So something can exist in a different realm that we obviously can't see, but it's there in a different frequency of matter, which is crazy.
Exactly. I'm gonna show you a picture real quick of an ancestor that was standing on the porch at my man crib, right up the street from my crib. I'm the only dude who got this picture. Me and him. He the only, because he sent it to me, and I was like, yo, I gotta use this for some of my proofs that the ancestors exist. So let me pull up this picture real quick. Let me who's creator? It's in that presentation. All right, boom. This was the presentation I did on Sinetta, but when I showed the spirit, my screen wasn't showing when I was doing it. I was like, ah, man, that was the main thing I wanted cats to see. All right, so this is the picture right here. Let me share my screen. Let me just pull it up real quick. Where we at? All right, share my screen, and here we go right here. Bam. Right there. Now, this picture was taken in Atlanta, Georgia, in Stone Mountain, right up the street where I live at. That's my man Aunt crib. And when they came out, they said they seen a spirit standing on the porch. He was able to grab his phone, and they took the picture, and this is what they got right here. Now, when I did the knowledge, this picture, when I did the knowledge on that dress, because I did the research, that dress, that time period is from 1890 to 1920, that type of clothing she had on.
Ooh.
So what you're seeing here is a lingering spirit. That's what I put on the top. I said, who are angels? And let me just read this real quick. Who are angels? Let me just summon right here. God's book of Ezra, chapter 4, verse 15, states, these are from Jehovah and in him, that all angels, gods, lords, generals, captains in heaven are only the brothers and sisters of both mortals and spirits of the dead. See that? It take away the spookism of what an angel is. It ain't nothing but an ancestor. Like this sister right here.
Right.
She's just still a lingering spirit. But I was shocked the way they caught that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yo, shout out to Mighty Hebrew and the thing. Yo, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
Selah, you going
if you want the picture, just let me know. I can email it to you, Priest. Yeah, I can email it to you. But that's a real picture right up the street from where I live in Stone Mountain. Don't nobody got this picture except me and my man. Only 2 people on the planet got this picture. So this ain't no Photoshop. And if you notice, coming back to what we were saying about spirits existing outside of visible light. Now, you only see things 700 nanometers to 400 nanometers. Let me just show the spectrum real quick, because I like to prove all things. So let me just show what I'm talking about. Electromagnetic spectrum right there. So when you look at the electromagnetic spectrum right here, right? What you see, it say visible light. Visible light is 400 to 700 nanometers. Now, when you come outside of visible light, if you're moving at a faster vibrational frequency, that's the UV, the X-ray, and the gamma ray. These are where the high-ranking the angels that are moving on a faster vibrational frequency, they move in the higher realm. That's why you can't see them, because the light is too strong for your visible light. The angels that are moving on a lower vibrational frequency, moving at slower speeds, is in the infrared and the ultraviolet. This is where Shorty at. Shorty's outside of visible light, but she's just visible, because you can see right through her. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and she's wearing
she's
like
on the
old
border
garments.
of visible light. I'm
Like
sorry, say it again.
Definitely from an old time, because the garments she's wearing is like
exactly
from an old time period.
Because when I looked up the garments, like let me see, like clothings of the 1800s, let me put it like 1890 clothing, women clothing, like for example.
That's crazy.
Let me put 1890. Women clothing 1890. Look who comes up. Look who comes up.
We can do an episode on Halloween on this type of topic.
Yeah, for real. I'm with that type of shit. Yeah, but look at the clothing. Look at the clothing. Look at the similarity of clothing, right?
Yeah.
Like right here. Now let's go back to the spirit. See that?
Yeah.
See that? And this is 1890. So that lets me know that this ancestor has been lingering for at least 100 years, and she haven't basically moved up and ascended. Because the Oahspe talk about lingering spirits who linger after their death. You know what I mean? And we have evidence of a linger. This is Stone Mountain, Georgia. Back in the days, this was Bill. So during her day, she would have probably been damn near a slave or Auntie Mama, one of them. You know what I mean?
Auntie Mama.
S.L. Smith said slave garments. Yeah, they did. It was on there.
Yeah, but if you want that picture, Killer Priest, I can send it.
Definitely, bro. Definitely. Yeah. I'll take it. Let's get that video set up too, and let the brother explain it right here.
All right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Word.
I'm gonna share a screen so he can see on his end.
Yeah. We're gonna release this soon, and shout out to Jordan River. Oh man. I can't wait for you to meet my man Guam too.
Yeah.
Word. Well, yeah. I made a mistake and called him by mistake.
What's he do?
He does beats. He does beats, but he's the Ross that come through all the time. Play big music. Word. Shout out to everybody in there. Shout out to Vinny. You're doing a great job. Coach Kandaka. Didn't see Voltage today. Shout out. Our energy always goes out to Voltage. to get stronger. But he sent me a beat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he sent me a beat today.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, that's going to go to Kai Zodiac and go out to K9.
Nice.
Exactly. Soon as we on it. So
hey, Priest, I got some production for your ass too now, guys.
hey, let's talk about it, bro.
That ass, bro. I told you I came up under that Wu-Tang.
My bad, Guam.
So.
I'm not going to answer it right now, Guam. Go ahead. Yeah, I'll hit Guam later because I made a mistake and called him. Shout out to what you said. I know you got some tracks. I can feel the vibe. Oh, hold up. This brother, Selah, shot a movie. I don't know if you want me to put this out.
Yeah, hell yeah. Talk to the people.
He shot like a series, a video series that's dope. Yo, y'all can check it out. And it's just inspiration, man. It's inspiring that, you shoot something. He wrote and directed his own film. And he's got a series. What you up to, like episode?
I got 7 seasons. It's called Atlanta's Ugly. If you pull up Atlanta's Ugly on YouTube, it's a web series that I produced, and there's 7 seasons on there. I'm working on season 8 as we speak.
Yeah, and your humble beginnings, though. The gunshots at the beginning, I was cracking.
What you say, K?
The gunshots at the beginning, the fire.
Oh yeah. We getting busy. We getting busy.
It was getting busy, man. Word.
We getting busy. And see, that's a beautiful thing because with that, I'm working with a lot of people that don't know this knowledge. So I'm able to.
Yeah, you can explain that. Yeah, exactly. We get it. Yeah, we get it.
Right.
I'm just saying it's a step up, it's a step out, but it's the fact that you inspire others. You know what I mean? Because cats is they writing books, they're not finishing their books. You know what I'm saying? They're lingering, and you just got up and you went out there and did it. You know what I'm saying? We got buildings, we got a whole bunch of stuff that we be doing, and we don't just get out there and take over it.
Facts.
There's shooting. If you're going to shoot. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to do your book, do your book. Stop thinking it all. Because procrastination, man, is the worst thing. And the distraction goes on. That's why you got to change your diet sometimes. Sometimes when you change your food, your intake, you start thinking different.
That's true.
You know,
when I stopped eating meat in 96, man, I stopped getting headaches. Like, because I used to suffer from migraine headaches back from like when I was 15, 14, 13. But I was heavily on the meat, the pork, and all that stuff. But 96, I stopped eating pork. And then and when I turned 26, I stopped eating meat. I mean, I stopped eating fish,
Right.
And then like ever since then, bro, I don't get headaches for nothing. Like I may get a headache from blowing a blunt, and I ain't dehydrated and drink. But just saying getting a headache just out the blue like that, that's rare, you know what I mean?
Indeed. Hey, have you heard of Inky? Minister Inky?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Minister Inky be going in.
Minister Inky be going in on the health, man. Him, KT, the arts degree, he's a damn walking encyclopedia.
Oh man, I didn't hear of him.
What? KT, the arts degree? Oh, that's the dude you want to get on the show. When it comes to the health, he's I think he an offspring of Dr. Sebi. I think he one of Dr. Sebi like little proteges. But when it comes to that health, don't nobody know it better than him, bro.
Let's get it, man. Let's get it.
I don't know him personally, but I done checked them out before.
Okay, we're talking.
If you want to get with Red and Blue Pill, I think that's their little brother.
Shout out to Red and Blue Pill, man. Word. I know they reached out to me at 4th one time.
Yeah, they out here in Atlanta. They be going to Stone Mountain right up the street from where I'm at. They do their little like they on their spiritual shit. Niggas out here on their spiritual shit, man.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I think it's a time of connection. Everybody's getting reconnected, and there's a time of change that's coming. And you heard your boy Ye, right?
Who that?
Ye, Kanye West.
Nah, I ain't been really keeping up. What he do now?
His latest rant on drink champs.
What do you do? I ain't see it.
Oh, he went in. We can talk all day about that.
Okay, I got you.
He was talking all day about the industry, about control. He was talking about a whole bunch of stuff, man. It was crazy.
See, he got to be careful because, like,
I know that's
a lot of these rappers. Now they want to try to get on what we get on, but they got to be careful because you dealing with the beast. You know what I mean? You playing with the higher echelons. And y'all ain't equipped to deal with these cats spiritually like how because we grew up doing this.
Right.
You know, I go talk to some of these Illuminati, nigga, I deal with them because my spirit is strong in the creator and they can't get no wind over here. I'm teaching 33rd degree. I got 33rd degree Masons asking me questions. They telling me, yo, Selah, teach me this. How you know? I'm like, bro, I'm just a nigga reading a book. What you talking about?
Yeah. Shout out to my man, Lord Furry. All right. We're going to go back. All right. We ready? We queued up?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So you want to introduce the video?
Yeah, it's called Brother's Letter by Killa Priest.
From the Mother album.
From the Mother album.
Yeah.
It's a pretty personal piece.
Yeah. For my sister, she's gonna go crazy. Shout out to Paulette. You know what I'm saying? And my niece.
When we shot it, I like when I shoot, I like to kind of go with the flow and just see what happens and not like set stuff up so much.
Yeah.
But we got some nice images and feel like it's a nice little journey visually.
All right. So right here, Mighty L Infinite in the building. Shout out to him. He says KT the Art Degree is the truth. Peace and love to the pod. KL, man. Shout out to that brother. He called in and handled it right when my man Shay was going in. And shout out to Shay too.
We're gonna get to your other super chats in a second here soon.
All right. Here we go, y'all. We're gonna play the whole video and then we're gonna release it later on.
Word. All right. And here we go. 1 second, y'all.
I should cut my hair off like Van Gogh. Stop performing at the class shows. Watch myself from the audience. Play piano with the candles. I mean, I'll still perform, but the drill is gone. I don't feel as strong. Maybe because the wheel is torn. I clutch in the ball because I'm sick to my gut. And I brushed off the dust, stood up like I was touched by healing palms. I picked up my shield and 3 rocks as I'm hearing songs. Know ye not that ye are gods. And I've been blocked by bounces, overlooked by the announcers. I'm in the stand with the fans. Who showed me that my album was like a counselor. They said songs like then for now. And Rockets. Then to now. Even the deja vu. They said the old man was you. You reoccurring nightmare. But you kept coming back around. I took a picture with him. Then he showed me a picture of his daughter in a cap and gown. He said he put her through college because your words stood up for knowledge. He said, to be honest, you're like a prophet, that's the stop it. He said, what would it be right before quarantine? Take us to Neverland and Rocket. I said it was just my journey to the planet of God. I'm not Da Vinci. Just a mantra I said for the monsters in my head. Kept reliving, but we true living. Like the reason we lived in, we said we did. That was beautiful listening. Playing came on the music was getting negative for the chamber while I talk to strangers. My his divorce and child support papers. Gotta restrain in court for his anger. On the cross because of haters. As coach finish up with the black wave on the dawn. They look around on the lawn. This search backstage. Much finish the set. Play the next song. Nobody would remember. He hardly was a member. But the gods was his adventures. With the bars always an adventure. From Guinea guards to jobs with the center. Hard fucking cars for the winter, kept a penny charm. What's the odds I get injured? Dreams of a football star was ended. My lovers died, my brother's demise. My first son arrived in September. Virgo, no more I'm not going to turbo. Stopping and stopping in my circles. Better than some love was eternal. Ancestors and grace up. Sword in my dreams like Jacob. Wrestle with devil before I wake up. I was an angel in flames who renamed you. Killa Priest to join the Wu-Tang school. Say to them, oh son of man, now children go in the land. Now I'm gonna send them 5 deadly venom.
Powerful. Yo, that was dope right there.
Yeah, that was tough.
Hey.
That's dope.
That was nice. Peace and blessings.
Good job.
That was great work.
Whose mix was that?
Man.
That was AD's.
I didn't do that mix.
You didn't do that mix?
That's not me. I can tell by the way it's mixed. It sounds good. I could just tell.
Come on, you bragging, man.
No, I didn't mix it. there's an effect on it towards the end, and there's also kind of an echo on your voice in the beginning, and that's not something I do.
Hold on.
Seasick. There you go. I just want to make sure Seasick gets his props.
Oh, yeah, man. Shout out to C6 once again.
Yeah.
Shout out.
Cool. That was not me.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure people knew.
Yeah, man. I forgot, man. So
I could tell.
C6 is the one that did Psychic World. You know,
It sounded good. It sounded good.
That shit hard, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Good looking, my brother.
When we first met and we wanted to shoot a video, Priest sent me a song. He's like, "Yo, let's do this video," and he sent me. It was like a 15-minute song.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like,
Merkaba.
yeah, I was walking around the neighborhood. Yeah, Merkaba.
Oh,
Yeah, and I was like, it's too much, man. I don't know how to do this right now.
Yeah.
It's like the whole story of the universe.
Yeah.
In there. So,
Oh man. Yeah.
and then we took a little time, and then the situation, and then you wrote the song, and you sent that, and I was like, all right, I don't want to do anything. I don't even really want you to necessarily like do the vocals,
Right.
You know, like
Right.
whatever,
Right.
you know, for the
That's
video.
real. Yeah.
Just have it be like a timepiece,
I like how you do
time
that.
capsule
Mm,
of like, you know,
mm,
your memory and love, you know.
right.
You like
And
the song
That's
speak.
deep, yo.
Yeah,
You like the song speak.
That's
Let the
touching
sound
right there,
go.
man.
Yeah, for sure.
be kind of minimal. If anyone wondering the little effects in there, I like to put like different objects in front of the glass.
Mm.
Yeah, prisms.
Right.
That was dope.
Yeah, it makes
Split
sense.
diopters.
Hey, you know when AD give it up.
Nice. Oh hell
And
yeah.
The 1970 look.
Yeah.
Oh man, I
I
love
love
that.
That was good quality.
Yeah,
Very
Great
good.
quality.
appreciate.
Yeah.
Gave me like little X vibes. Like,
Yeah.
you know, on that
Mm.
level.
Okay.
Yeah, I love your work.
Wow,
You
that's
should adjust your mic a little bit. There you go. I just want to make sure you good. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
man, shout out to
That was
everybody out
dope.
there.
Oh my joy. That was
That
hard.
was fire. Thank you,
Mm.
man.
No
Man,
doubt.
thank you for
Yeah,
bringing,
we'll do more, man.
ideas. Yeah, it's a light.
Yeah.
We got Mr. Universe on our hands right now. I sent you one from there a while back. Yeah, but yeah, it was a while back. Me and Jordan was talking about that. So we're definitely gonna collab again, bro. Mr. Universe soon.
Let's do some
Thank you, Selah.
super chats.
All right, let's go.
Shout out to High Tech from way earlier. I'm not sure if we hit you already, but shout out to Danny Salinas and High Tech. And also LaShawn Tribble. He says, greetings to you all. Bless. Q Royal and fam. I think we got a song for him to play next tonight. Shout out to Kermit Allen. We got Almighty already with the KT. The arch degree is the truth. Peace and love to the pod.
Right.
Sundiata the Great says VEN Jaz Necha Priest sending them joints. Check email from
Indeed.
Knowledge Born.
Son Great. Yes, and Knowledge Born. Shout out to Knowledge Born. Word. Hey, you play the bongos or something, right?
Oh, the buckets.
Or the buckets?
Yeah, the
Hey,
bucket drum.
Yeah, tell us about that real quick.
Basically, I was a street performer for like 15 years.
You
But
got
play 5-gallon buckets with drumsticks.
Right.
Coming from like the New York
Right.
school bucket drumming.
I remember seeing that on the street.
Yeah, there's like a guy like Larry Wright.
Dude.
He's like the He's like the OG
Yeah.
originator. He like created this thing into like an actual craft. I think he's from the Bronx or something.
I remember him.
And then there's guys like Peter Rabbit.
Okay.
You know Peter Rabbit? He does a lot of like halftime shows, NBA halftime shows, college basketball halftime shows.
Oh wow.
That's
Yeah.
the guy who comes out with the,
He's a bucket drummer,
I've seen
yeah.
that before.
And the New York style bucket drumming is you get a 5-gallon bucket and put it in between your feet, and then you lift it up. You get the bass, boom, 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 and then you get the bat with the slap.
Well,
And
it's
then
not too loud.
It's pretty loud.
Did you bring it
No,
up?
it's loud. It's like real drums.
Yeah.
Oh, because he bought his buckets. I want
Oh,
to
shit.
play. I want to. You want to go through a little?
I don't
bit?
know. I don't know how
I
you
don't-
would see it.
It's-
Yeah,
right here.
it would be good in this apartment.
Oh, okay.
As is, we got to keep our voices down.
Oh yeah, it's late.
But
Yeah.
but yeah,
Get it
bucket
in.
drumming, man. That's
Yeah.
did that for like 15 years full time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you got a YouTube video, we can play it.
I don't know.
We do it live.
I never actually film my own stuff. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
Let's get real. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But right, no doubt. All right. So let's
But shout out my teacher Osiris from Brooklyn.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
shout out to
he's
DK.
my bucket drum teacher.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All Wow, that's dope. So there you have it, man.
Nice. Did you do
I
drum?
gotta stop looking at.
Did you do drumline in high school?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
Nah.
Nice.
No, I met Osiris on the street. He took a Greyhound to San Francisco. I was living there, and I met him on the street, and he was bucket drumming. And I was like, "Yo, this reminds me of like New York when I was a little kid."
Yeah.
And seen them in the subway, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm from Brooklyn." And he just took a Greyhound across the country, and I was just chilling with him for like a week and a half straight, going out with him every day.
Nice.
And not even trying to play. We just became homies. And then
just picked it up.
I had to go to another country for a situation, and I didn't have any money. I didn't know what to do. Then I was like, man, I just met this dude, Osiris. Let me try what he was just doing.
Yeah.
And I did it, practiced for like 2 days, and then took it to a train station in Zurich, Switzerland, and made a bunch of money. And then I was like, okay. And then I emailed him. I'm like, yo, whatever you did, I'm not trying to take your style or your thing, but it's keeping me alive right now for, for this 5 months out there.
Yeah.
And then he never hit me back. And then I went back to the Bay Area, and then one day he was on Market Street, and I'm like, yo, you never hit me with the email, right?
And
he's like, yeah, I came back out here, and I wanted to see if you're serious about bucket drumming. So I was on Market Street bucket drumming, and he's like, yeah, I see you're serious. So we're going to do like the first lesson today.
Nice.
Yeah. And then he became my teacher.
Are you still doing it today?
Once COVID hit, I kind of took a break.
Because you could set up right here in Venice Beach.
Yeah. I play downtown occasionally.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Broadway.
Yeah, Venice Beach would be the spot, though. A lot of traffic over there.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
The acoustics aren't that good, but yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe there's the right location next to a building.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know what you mean. You got to get the right reverb.
Yeah.
That's cool. Nice.
Man. Oh, man, that was great, man.
Yeah.
Selah.
Peace to the God.
Yeah, indeed, brother. You turned it up, man. We're gonna
appreciate you, man.
Yeah, indeed, man. You took us all the way there to the Arc Cycles. We're gonna have you come back. You know what I'm saying? If you want to stick around, we're gonna do the music part right now. If anybody got any more questions for Selah, Shalom, he's here.
Yeah, because I gotta wake up in the morning. I got some I gotta go on set tomorrow early. But before I bounce, man, I just want to read a little verse in respects and condolences to Mom Dukes, because that's definitely a sensitive topic. Because as I'm watching my mother get older, man, that shit be hitting me in my throat and my chest to see her getting older. You start really thinking about life and the importance of life. And that's Mom Dukes. So anytime I hear a brother mom pass, man, I just be like, man, that shit hit my heart. And I just got a verse I want to read from the Oahspe dealing with death. And then I'm going to close out and I'm out of here, man. I just want to just read this for you and shit, if you don't mind, okay?
Indeed.
Share my screen real quick. It's a quick verse. It ain't that long.
I already know, man. This is wear my glasses on this.
This is in the Oahspe. It's a part in the Oahspe called Bond's Book of Praise. It kind of read like a Psalms. So I just want to, it talks about death on this one. So I just want to read right here. It states, then answered Jehovah to those who weep for the dead. What I have taken away was mine, and I return it to the place it belongs. But the soul which I also gave, I carry it into new regions of delight. The spirit of the dead is in my hand, and I raise it up to the delightful places I created for it. Yes, it shall find its love and rejoice in my arms because of the glories of my heavens. In the times of my seasons, the soul of the dead shall stand by the living and testify to the endless creation which I provided, to never perish. Like a cord that lifts a weight, so shall the soul of the dead be to those that are stricken in sorrow. I will uncover my heavens for those, and my angels shall come down from my exalted kingdoms by the light of the line of their love, and they shall rejoice in the way of my dominion and glory me and my works. Each day at the setting of the sun for 3 days, you shall assemble and sing for the soul of the dead, remembering his or her virtues and great praise. Then you shall deliver his spirit to my Asaph's angels that receive the spirits of the dead. For the mansions I have built, and I will render to him or her the delights of my kingdoms according to the light of his understanding. You shall put away all mourning and all signs of mourning, and learn to understand that the way of my resurrection. Do not rebuke me, O my beloved, by draping yourselves in black cloth and veils of crepe. What I have done, I have done. Here's the catch. For the time shall come to my beloveds when they shall look back and say, it was well, and the time of Jehovah it happened well. When it so happened that we did not see, then we now behold as gods and goddesses the way of the Almighty. And this is the last verse, I'll just read. To sing and to rejoice in me, O my beloved, and to attain to great knowledge, these are the roads I created, shining diversified and broad than the imagination of man. By death I provide the resurrection of the souls of the dead. Do not mourn for my proceedings, O my beloved, but be wise and rejoice in the discretion in the glory of my creation. And I just wanted to read that just to give you some words of comfort. I mean, the spirits of the dead do live, and it's places of rejoicing that we can't even fathom, beloved.
Yo, man. Yo, man, that's from Yoshi too. She lost both of her parents in a matter of
3 months.
3 months.
Oh wow, that's deep. Yeah, man.
Yo, you always got a place over here, bro. I'm telling you, always. It says hit me with them beats too.
Hey, I got you, King. I got you. We'll talk tomorrow. I'm gonna hit your line.
All right, no doubt.
Hey, man, I'm still watching the show. Although I'm off, I'm still watching, King.
All right, man.
Blessings.
Hey, blessings to all y'all, man. Much love and respect.
Blessings.
Thank you, Selah.
And thanks for having me on.
Absolutely.
Hey.
All right, blessings, family.
Somebody
Peace.
said my stunning glasses. Jokes, man.
Let's see what's going on, fam. Hold up, family. I bet. So what it do, family? What y'all think about the bill? Your boy Selah Shalom in the building. You know how we do. It's a vibe. Let's run the rhythm for a minute. It's a vibe. Give me a 1 in the chat if you think I did good on Killa pre-show, family. Let me know how y'all feeling before I actually get off online and view the rest of the God show. It's a vibes. Apollo, I see you. Elijah, I see you. I see the family chiming in. I see the fam. Hebrew, awaken to the truth. Pam, the beloved Pam is in the building. The Murphy tribe. Deshaun, I see you. I see the fam chiming in. Gazelle, I see you, God. Peace to the Oralite. What you say, Prince? My brother Prince, man, say big man. Mysterious victory, I see you, exalted Gentiles. Ooh. Exiled Gentile. I like that. Exiled Gentile. That's your last name. Ray, what up, Ray? I see you. Jazz, I see you. Pearl, what good, fam? I see the fam chiming in. I see the ones coming in. That's what's up. Ain't nothing but love, yo. Ain't nothing but love, yo. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Spiritual light, I see you, fam. I see you, God. Peace to the God. You know how we do, fam. What's good, baby? Me and this brother been having some good back and forth. Peace to the God. It's a vibes. Tress, where's that? Been there, been cooling, you know what I mean? Feeling good in the spirit right now. You already know Creator Gang. You already know how we do. It's a vibes. Yes, family. You know what I mean? I'm glad they enjoyed the show. And the crazy thing is, I presented that right, like quick, fast this morning. That presentation I was gonna do with the debate with Naphtali, I may just present that information. Cause man, that shit, I ain't even done with it, but man, that shit is put together pretty good, dealing with the science. You know what I mean? It's a vibes. Who smoking with me? Who put one in the air? Who put one in the air? definitely a doorbell, no doubt. Killa Priest versus Shah. The Saf still win. It's not the man, it's the truth. That's right, it's not the man, it's the truth, beloved. And the wisdom of Jehovah is displayed through the one speaking the truth. How you convey truth, how you can make it clear for a baby to understand, that's the wisdom of Jehovah. When you can make it easy to understand. Because it's a vibes. You already know. Yeah, I make it look easy, right? I make this shit look easy. Because like you say, I've been doing this, man. This is second nature to me. Flo, yo, where you at, Prince? Where you at, Florida, son? Let's go roll up past the spliff. Yo, here you go, King. Hit that. Hit that, Prince. That's for you. Peace to the gods. Peace to the goddesses. Hey, yo, Shannon, I'm going to ship you out tomorrow morning. I got a couple orders to ship out, Shannon. I got you in the morning. Yes, I blowing that good ganja. You dig? Good time, is it? Let me chill there for a minute. It's a vibes. You don't know, bittersweet still. You don't know, but it was a good build. 2 hours, 35 minutes. Not bad at all, yo. What you say? What you say, Shannon? 7-layer blood smoke going on. Cool, you already know, God. You know how we do. Where Bronze Yogi? Where my nigga Bronze Yogi at, man? Where Bronze at? Take this to Joe Rogan Experience. I don't know who that is, Ken. Unity and righteousness brings created to all. No doubt, beloved. No doubt, it was a great build, man. I'm gonna say. Shout out to the God, Sarnetta, man. Sarnetta be catching flack all left and right, man. Salute to the God, man. That's a hard job to deal with being a neutral person. It's just like me being a director. I got to deal with so many mentalities, so many personalities. You know what I mean? Some people may feel like you're spending more time and focusing on them. Others feeling like you're neglecting them. It's hard being that type of person when you're dealing with a multitude of people, yo. And people who don't walk in that light don't understand that shit. Until they walk in that light, then they know what it feel like. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna go ahead and sign out, family. I got the wifey waiting upstairs. You know what that means. You know what I mean? Time to go blow some back out. So I'm out of here, man. See y'all in the Creative Gang chat. You know how we do Facebook gang. We out of here. Selah Shalom is out. We're gonna run the rhythm from the top. And we out of here, family. Let's sign out.